lot of content to do. Man, there's been so much. So we got to look at what's live right now. Plenty of XRP news. I'm going to be streaming until I probably collapse. So if that happens, that happens. Just try to fix my washing machine for like 20-30 minutes. But guess I'll call the technician on that one. Welcome back, everyone. So hopefully you're all doing it fantastic today. I'm just going to start a stream. We have a lot of XRP news. Let me just change the thumbnail and the title, because that's wrong. So that is incorrect. The title should be new. Wait. We go to this channel. We go here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Crypto holders. XRP, BTC, Sol, BNB, ETH coin price prediction. So let's take a look at this. Cryptocurrency token news, altcoin live stream. Price prediction news. We gotta check what's happening with crypto right now. A lot of stuff has been happening, so I hope you're all doing fantastic today. So let's start with Pengu. Here we go, starting in 3, 2, 1. Sorry guys, I'm just a bit exhausted from so much work being done right now. I wanted to fix my washing machine, but didn't work out. So, and I guess it's like 8 years, so it's pretty normal to break down. It's just unfortunate it happened right now. As the crypto bull run is happening, I wanted to stream like 2-3 hours ago, but what happened is I had so much stuff to do and I was feeling kind of lazy. I went to sleep like 8 a.m. yesterday. So yeah, I literally slept 8 a.m. And now we're going to be checking at all XRP news. I'm done with that, trying to fix the washing machine. We can actually focus on this Twitter update. So I'm streaming here. So Pengu is now on live trading on BitBuy, Canada's top regulated exchange. And this is good news because Pengu has actually been making waves. Now Pengu is one of the few cryptos that actually made a 70% X, 70% in the last week. There's been so much hype about Pengu, and I think the community is basically rallying up. There's one thing that people say bad stuff about Pengu is basically it's made out of NFTs. The thing is here, Pengu is rallying more and more holders, and it could become the next Pepe. And here's why. So look, it's having its own ETF, and that's what's keeping people hyped. And it literally rallied. This looks like a little mosh pit, right? So went from 3 cents back to 3 cents, 1.4 billion trading volume. It literally looked like a dead token, and then now it's coming back. So Pengu could actually hit $1 if it has a ton of burns, but it's not going to hit this bull run. I believe Pengu could hit 10 cents. I believe the market right now for meme coins is under tapped, and they are leading NFTs. There's been a lot of drama with other NFTs. So there was a NFT called like top NFTs right now. So top NFT collections are actually probably Pengu is like top 10 or top 1. That's why people still love this novelty. It's kind of like collecting Pokemon cards, except it's much, much more expensive. Yeah, Pudgy Penguins is first. They are leading denominator and being like the NFTs project, right? So if you see that, You have like these My Lady makers, whatever. But at last 24 hours, it's them. Last 30 days. Last 30 days, what's the top NFT collection? Like NFTs have been long gone, right? Courtyard, I'm not too sure what's this on Polygon. Look, it literally beat Bored Ape Yacht Club and CryptoPunk. So that's because Pudgy Penguins are only $26,000. So would you rather own a car or a Pudgy Penguins NFT? I guess most people who have Pudgy Penguins are literally one of the richest people in the crypto space. And you could also have little Pudgies that are only $3,000, which makes way more sense. So they made something for like basically more budget version, which $3,000 is a lot, but if you can sell it, that's pretty good. So Bored Ape Yacht Club literally fell to $26,000. So NFTs have been downtrend. So Pudgy Penguins is not just an NFT anymore. It's like a symbol status plus token hype. I also have some big news on the 8 billion transaction. I just found something that I want to show to you guys. So be sure to retweet. By the way, I'm live on Twitter. We're trying to reach 400 followers. Thank you so much for anyone liking. We're going to be checking XRP news. We're going to be checking all the crypto updates pretty much shortly. So there's one thing I'm really hyped about is actually Martin Shkreli, the guy who did the pharma stuff, finding more about the $8 billion transaction. So yeah, Pudgy Penguins, again, I think people are making the mistake that it's only an NFT. NFTs are great, but it's just like they're leading denominator, right? They're the leading crypto out there. Takes over crypto with Twitter. Coinbase just updated their profile picture to Pudgy. Caption, new Pudgy, who this? So Coinbase literally adopted Pudgy Penguins. Penguins are over 50-60%. Went from 9 ETH to 11.5 ETH. So I think Coinbase has something planned. There's going to be like an Ethereum ETF for this one as well. It's a movement. Pudgy Penguins aren't just cute, they're crypto power plays. And Polkadot and Coinbase basically changing, like with millions and millions of users. This definitely means something is on the rise for this meme coin. But again, I'm not sponsored by them, so who knows. If you guys can hear I'm a bit tired, it's because I'm trying to fix the washing machine, but my old washing machine broke. So we're going to be looking at a video on new encrypted message found for 80k Bitcoin disappear, like 80k Bitcoin transfer. I wanted to check what Martin Shkreli said about that, because there's been, if you haven't caught that on, there's been some news on 80k Bitcoin, so literally billion Bitcoin, 8 billion Bitcoin being missing.
I wouldn't call it.
So give me one sec. Let me just open my streaming device, which is going to help as well.
A crisis, but let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, basically 80,000 Bitcoin had disappeared. And there was a fascinating article written by a French man who I may or may not be in correspondence with. I'll leave it at that. But he wrote this article. I'm trying to get in correspondence with him. This is the article in question.
So how did 80,000 Bitcoin disappear? That's a lot of money.
So if you can read this article, because it's really fascinating. Let's dive into it a bit, but let me also promote.
So there's so much stuff in crypto happening right now. There's literally tons of articles of like this that will never get explored, because crypto is just like a quick cesspool like of content, of media. Penguin is just the best start to invest. I think if like big exchanges are taking Pudgy Penguins, this could be the start of something like bigger. You know, it's just the mainstream thing. If Coinbase is taking it, which have like the most money in crypto, and make it as a profile picture, because it's the #1 NFT, what stops like it from making like the best seller? I think they're gonna make like they could promote any simple coin to make more of trading commissions. But they picked this one. So I'm definitely excited for what happened with 80,000 Bitcoin.
Because I want people to see this. We have a lot of things going on here. Let's read this guy's article. Like I said, he's a French cyberpunk, Cypher Tux. And he wrote, we
have so much news to check today. Basically, he's saying Bitcoin movement for Bitcoin on July 1st.
Stopped because it's pretty computationally intensive. Let's read the CipherTux article. It's really interesting. I'll read it out loud for you guys because this is one of the most fascinating things that's ever happened in all Bitcoin. So let's read that first, and I'll.
What would you do if you woke up with like 80,000 Bitcoin, just like sitting there?
We'll get to the programs in a minute. When the investigation outgrows the investigator. A few days ago, on July 6th,
mysterious 80,000 Bitcoin moved on July 4th. This is what everybody was talking about, 8 billion that sparked it. But this actually has a very, very deep story to it. Someone just found that this is like Ross Ulbricht and they found their wallet. Well, for anyone interested, this actually goes in much, much deeper than anyone expected.
Was my first investigation about the mysterious 80,000 Bitcoin. Moved on July 4th. What followed exceeded all my expectations. Nearly 1 million views, fiery debates across the entire crypto community, and a collective realization that something significant was happening. But above all, one troubling fact became clear. I was apparently the only person conducting a full
I think so much Bitcoin is moving around, nobody cares where this 80,000 Bitcoin comes from. But again, guys, this is $8 billion. $8 billion can literally buy a country. That's why they're looking into it.
Technical investigation into this case. This is probably true, mon ami. To prolong to a much longer story, what I initially thought was the conclusion of my first investigation turned out only to be a prologue. Since that publication, discoveries have followed a dizzying pace. Every lead unearthed new mysteries. Every answer raised 10 new questions. If you don't know Bitcoin, everything is about elliptic curves. The transformation of an investigation into a revelation. What began as the analysis of a mysterious fund movement has evolved into something far deeper. The potential discovery of the most unexpected cryptographic exploit in Bitcoin's history. That far? Not really. I'm not sure what he meant by that part. From biased ECDSA nonces to historical RNG vulnerabilities, from lattice attacks to exploitable patterns, through unbelievably sophisticated legal constructs and disturbing connections to controversial figures in the ecosystem, this investigation took me down paths I've never imagined. Now, again, a lot of you...
Again, I'm wondering, like, who here has heard about 50,000, 80,000 Bitcoin?
Let me say this. I think there is reason to believe this is not a cryptographic hack. So, je pense qu'il...
So it moved after 13 years. That's a lot of time. Like, there's literally XRP whales waking up.
Par canal auxiliaire. So technical innovation, a first of its kind exploit, legal strategy using existing laws to legalize the illegal. This guy has a very specific opinion on the law, I suppose. Psychological warfare, symbolic timing, and clever narrative camouflage.
Why are they going so much into detail? Like, most people are looking, like, he's making all these statements, but you gotta realize when people want content, they want like content fast. And this guy went fully into detail, which I really appreciated. The evolution of my theory. So who owns 8 billion? Craig Wright phase. Someone sophisticated operation orchestrated by Wright. So Craig Wright, basically the guy who said he's Satoshi Nakamoto. Alternate theory by Isam Satoshi of the IRS FBI operation. So it could be the government. Statement from Salman Brothers claiming to protect the ecosystem. So it could be one of the richest people in crypto. Technical phase, discovery of EDCA vulnerabilities and lattice attacks. So someone could have basically made an attack on it. And people are saying it could be this guy. But there's actually a hidden message that nobody saw. Just to give a quick recap on this. Declaration of war. Legal notice. We have taken possession of this wallet and its contents.
Legal notice. We have taken possession.
So somebody didn't have to post that, but they still did. Sent to multiple wallets simultaneously. This entity so-called possession with a legal formalism reminiscent of real estate seizures. Like, how that's what the original wallet like posted. They literally sent a message to themselves saying we have taken possession of this wallet and its contents. So someone claimed $8 billion. And none of crypto Twitter actually found out.
We've taken possession of this wallet and its contents. What? We have taken possession of this wallet and its contents. Anyone?
So who actually took $8 billion? To me, that is absolutely insane. Someone had access to $8 billion. $8 billion, not 8 million. but actually something that could crash, not 8 million, crash crypto in a sense.
One can send those OP returns to this address. So what else did this person say? They said, if it's not abandoned, prove it by an on-chain using private.
So somebody literally claimed this wallet. They somehow found this wallet. I guess this is a really old wallet from 13 years ago, and they claimed $8 billion. I don't know how they found the keys. There could be multiple things. I don't think it's the U.S. government, because why would the U.S. government leave notes like that? It could be someone very deep into crypto that actually got $8 billion now.
Key in an on-chain transaction by 9:30. They gave a deadline. Third message. Notice to owners. See SolomonBrothers.com.
So the richest people could actually own this crypto. That is insane. It's posted on its own website.
Has taken constructive possession of it. Now, this is a weird concept. Yeah, John Merriweather, sometimes you need the...
They literally want to legally claim this wallet. I don't know if you can do that.
www.pref.
Like, if someone finds your wallet and you're just taking a break from crypto, could they say they could claim it? I mean, is 13 years any different? I mean, this is kind of like when you can claim a house. There was like legal stuff where you could claim a house in UK if you lived in it long enough and the owner didn't live in it. You could legally take someone's house if it was unused. So someone worked hard, and if you lived in it long enough and you proved that you made renovations and everything like that and changes to the house, if nobody's taking ownership, this was like a huge court case for a 500K or pounds house, which is $700,000 in the UK. Can you do that with crypto wallets? I'm really wondering like what the legal stuff is. Can you say I'm going to claim $8 billion if 90 days nobody replies? What if it was your wallet and you wanted to, and you only had $1,000? Could someone come in that accidentally found your password on the internet and say, if you don't claim it in 90 days or 30 days, I can take all your money?
And seeks to determine if there is a bona fide owner.
What if he wants to stay private?
This legal notice is posted pursuant to and in compliance with applicable law. Well, that might be wishful thinking. What is complying with applicable law is up to a judge. But anyway, he said...
Exactly. Like, this has never happened in crypto before, especially for a 3 million case, basically. I mean, 8 billion.
As this legal notice is posted pursuant to and in compliance with applicable law, which is intended to provide an opportunity for the owner...
We got to check some XRP news up next as well.
...to claim property, otherwise qualifying as lost or abandoned. This owner is provided 90 days to respond to this notice. There are things like legal notices and things like that, but this is a very strange thing.
I guess this could be like protecting themselves in case the owner replies later that they gave him full notices. Because the owner might be passed away, right? And if the wallet is not used, they want to kind of claim it if no one claimed it in 13 years.
If no response is received, the wallets and their contents, which is $8 billion.
$8 billion. Again, this is not just $1,000 we're talking about. This was the mainstream news 1 week ago, and nobody was talking about this news. Imagine if $8 billion pumps or dumps XRP. Wouldn't that be crazy? They could literally crash Bitcoin and dump XRP. They could buy 8 billion of XRP if they wanted. $8 billion. So this could literally move markets. This is not some chump change. This is basically choosing which crypto is going to be the number one. It's a lot of money, except maybe Ethereum and Bitcoin. Like for a top 100, you can literally pump half of the coin up.
Will be considered to be confirmed as abandoned. In sum, the lack of a response may be provided to a court as evidence of the relinquishment of all rights, title, and interest. This is an
I wonder if this works in court.
Important legal notice, and rights can be adversely impacted if the owner does not respond. Provide ownership by sending Solomon Brothers a message using the
Solomon Brothers. Now, these are like billionaires already, but if they make this, if they find this, they're going to be multi-billionaires.
Contact form below with a detailed description of your valid claim to ownership. Send a message below. Our client seeks ownership rights to the digital wallet for which no valid owner responds. Henceforth,
so I'm more interested, how did they find this wallet? Maybe someone had it in the background or never sold it.
no person shall trespass on the rights from this wallet without authorization of our client. Our client reserves all rights and will act to defend its rights against any trespasser. Now, CypherTalk spent some time analyzing this. Let's talk about this in a second.
Let's watch XRP news up next as well, guys.
This is really one of the most
$8 billion.
fascinating things ever to
Welcome everyone new to the stream.
to Bitcoin. It's a bit of an emergency broadcast. That's right. Beyond this steganographic rabbit hole deepens, beyond the simple op return spam, there's a sequence of numbers still under analysis that you'll come to understand throughout this investigation. One worthy of a Netflix series.
We're going to get a full-on Netflix series out of this. So just to recap on this before we go to like more news. Again, putting yourself in shoes, whoever pulled off this exploit, someone really smart got $8 billion and has sold its rights. Satoshi while maximizing profit. I think the article didn't get that famous because, well, very simply because it's written in a way that I wouldn't understand. Like most people probably watching the stream, including me, they wouldn't understand what's happening. Like, would you understand how to read this? And I think most people are new to crypto, so they don't understand what happened to $8 billion of Bitcoin. And you can actually see the full transactions here.
Discoveries, an investigation that revealed how biased ECDSA nonces. So what is a nonce? A nonce is a hash. And I'm looking for some of these nonces myself. Historical random number generator flaws, lattice attacks, and discovery of exploitable patterns.
Again, look at this. Let's just finish it up here. $1.2 billion sent here as a test transaction, or 1.2 billion. So they literally just moved 1.2 billion out there. And then there was some legal fights about this. 80K Bitcoin and the largest operation in history.
The same day, Bitcoin.
We never saw this in history of crypto. And after that, it literally pumped. I don't think they're going to sell it because Solomon Brothers are holding a lot of Bitcoin already.
The broader public understand the magnitude of this exploit. I decided to explain in simplified terms the technical mechanism behind it. This breakdown is crucial to grasp how serious...
What researchers have found: scam from blockchain, nonsense collisions, private keys exposing $61 million. So they literally, if you take enough time, there's $61 million altogether that was earned. That to me is insane. So I guess someone kind of like could, out of 650 million signatures, they kind of found 2,500 wallet keys. So it's not like 10,000% safe. It might take years, but sometimes there's bugs, there's cloned virtual machines left in by mistake after testing, fee-saving shortcuts. I mean, this goes really into detail on what happened to $8 billion. And this might just be claimed because from what I know, nobody's claiming that, nobody has claimed this wallet yet. I think it's absolutely crazy that me and Martin Shkreli are the only ones who are talking about news like this, because when I go into crypto, I really do a deep dive. Like, I really want to go one step further. I don't want to just report XRP news. I want to show why XRP grows. And my channel is not only about XRP. It's literally about everything.
File in this case that I think is very important. So 2 addresses received these tokens. And
really want to go.
One of them belonged to Dave Kleiman's electronic data.
So who is Dave Kleiman? Which Wright tried to submit as evidence in September 2021. So this could be the biggest legal battle in crypto history. And look, these 2 addresses received 10K Bitcoin. These guys are ultra rich. Dave Kleiman controls these wallets. Who's Dave Kleiman? Let me just post a tweet about this, because this is pretty big news. $8 billion dollar Bitcoin transfer update live. BTC 8 billion. Again, guys, smash that like button if you haven't already. We're going to be going into detail what happened with this 8 billion transfer. I'm not stopping until we find everything that there is to know. So there, I'm going to probably watch the whole video and then we can start with the normal news, because if people don't know this, we're probably just like 30 or maybe literally 1,200 people know this, and 1,000 maybe 24 people that are watching the stream. We're holding strong XRP millionaires. Exactly. We're going to be watching XRP news as well. I just wanted to go on first, like the priority streams.
The paper right at the time of the heist? I don't know. Is that really that interesting? So he had a tweet on October 20th. 2022.
Solomon talked of trade of sowing seed widely where maybe. Was Wright already planning to harvest through Solomon Brothers? Harvest the Bitcoins.
Solomon talked of trade.
So Dave Kleiman, they mentioned this guy. Dave Kleiman died in 2013. This guy, I guess they're trying to claim his wallet. There's going to be a legal battle between Satoshi, Wright, like the biggest players in crypto. So just as a deep dive, this guy has unfortunately passed away. And his $8 billion, he passed away in 2013, 26th of April. And he was a computer forensic expert, an author or co-author, and a frequent at security-related events. Craig Stephen Wright, the guy who said he's Satoshi Nakamoto, claims Kleiman was involved in the invention of Bitcoin, and that Wright himself was Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin's main inventor. So this was disproved in court. Wright claims, subject to liquidation in London, where it was publicly declared that he's not Satoshi Nakamoto, did not write the Bitcoin white paper, nor the Bitcoin software. So this guy held $8 billion because he couldn't trade. Solomon talked of trade of sowing seed widely where that may not be. Was Wright already planning to harvest? All news matters. Do your thing. It's all important. I agree because this could actually pump XRP as well once people find out. So again, I think I made it pretty clear that this goes much more into detail. I think this is going to be a fight between Solomon Brothers and Craig Wright. And the early guys who made Bitcoin, and they're going to be looking where crypto is going to go from here. So let's go XRP videos. It's XRP time. So with that being said, $8 billion is definitely going to be causing traction. And yeah, we might find out sooner who created crypto. So that's pretty good news. It might take some years. We might find out who is one of the creators of basically Bitcoin itself. Something that people 13 years ago were questioning themselves, who is. And most people don't know or don't care. But those who do, wow, it's going to be juicy. 2025, 2026, we might find out through the court documents.
Bigs and bigs make money, you know they're going to tell.
So there's something going to be happening on Tuesday, tomorrow, which means I'm going to be streaming as well. So if you want to join tomorrow as well, I'm also going to be doing to that. Today we're going to be having a 3-4 hour live stream.
Their friends, which means more money flowing into crypto, and that's
I'm just waiting for the government to really buy XRP. 123,000. I'm not even that shocked. I think once government starts buying, we might be seeing 130,000, 150,000. It's not that far off.
TF. Words out that you make a lot of money on it. We're going to talk H-bar, XRP.
I actually do have some pretty amazing news as well coming up next week. So smash that like button, guys, and I will keep you updated.
Why? Well, because we're at crucial price points on both. Along with the Federal Reserve, the OCC, and the FDIC, not Snoop D-O-double-G, giving us some crypto guidance.
BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF just became its most profitable under 2 years. So next up is the government might buy 700 million of Bitcoin. And I think they pretty much promised, like Trump was talking with Brad Garlinghouse, and they promised that he's going to buy at least some of XRP itself. There was some talks about it, or at least some ETFs. Like the ETFs would pump as well.
They're saying, yo, you can buy crypto, but we got some rules for you.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your
Guidance. You can touch the crypto, but you gotta touch it with our rules.
So I think that's pretty fine if crypto gets regulated. Because even if crypto gets regulated, the government will want to jump in. BlackRock, being Bitcoin ETF became its most profitable, is actually a good thing. So when movies are launched, it basically means like if they are not profitable, it means they're bad movies, right? And that gives the people who make the movies an idea if it's good or bad to make more. So it literally gives BlackRock an idea, hey, Bitcoin is profitable, so XRP will be profitable. So Ethereum will be profitable. All these cryptos will be profitable overall.
All right. Blockchain researcher accidentally burns 58,000 in pump tokens. All right, so here
58,000. Huh. So 58,000 burned in pump tokens reflects calmly on possible outcomes. I heard rumors that Pump Fund had 500 million locked in, but this was actually proven to be false. So this actually happens very common in crypto. If you guys don't know, every single pre-sale, there's like people losing 20,000 or 60,000, and they just kind of like forget about this money. A blockchain researcher accidentally burned 60,000 worth of Pump Fund tokens on Solana, demonstrating the risk of token management and importance of caution in crypto transaction. The incident occurred a token cleanup using Axiom Exchange's burn feature, highlighting how easily valuable assets can be lost through user error in decentralized environments.
58,000 in pump tokens. All right, so here's what happened. This person purchased $40,000 worth of pump tokens.
Okay, so what hurts more, he didn't get them for free. He accidentally lost. The incident occurred probably more than some people in third world countries or Asian countries make in their life. So he literally lost someone's entire life earning money. Minju inadvertently burned his entire allocation, and the biggest burn is like it went up after that.
Yeah. Then they inadvertently burned the entire amount worth over 50.
That's why it's so important. I never ever tried DeFi as much because you can make a single mistake and it can cost you $5,000.
58,000 post-launch while attempting to clear spam.
Like, because the token was probably not recognized because it was early, it literally sent like also, I'm guessing, because Pump, just started, it also burned his other tokens. Like, that's a very foolish thing to do. You can just not do that, keep it on an exchange and sell it there. Or you could just like keep the spam tokens on there. There's no reason, like they're regulated anyway. And I saw people actually burning thousands of XRP. Let's also check XRP burn wallet right after that.
Tokens from their wallet using Axiom Exchange. We also have to make crypto maybe a little.
We're gonna be checking how much XRP could be forced to burn $30 billion.
A little easier to use. Like, if you could do stupid shit like this with your money, then they haven't put in enough safeguards for the customer.
That's what DeFi literally, why they make DeFi or these decentralized finance, so you can make all your own decisions. But yeah, it seems like it was a new token and they thought he gained it by mistake.
Because of what's happening with Grayscale.
Like, there's this small money, this will like go away. In terms of crypto, this is very small money, but something tells me that XRP might be the next big thing because we are going to be seeing a $30 billion burn. This was posted 3 years ago, but I still believe it could happen. How Ripple could be forced to burn XRP worth $30 billion. So Ripple has about 50 billion XRP in escrow, a treasure chest that's worth a cool 29 billion. In an Oculus question on Twitter, how bombshell about this crypto haul, the company could be forced to destroy it all, even if they don't want to. If nodes, validators, and community got together and we agree it's better for community to burn the 50 billion XRP that has in its escrow, would it be possible? Subsequently admitted that such a scenario could happen, assuming that the community could get the votes. So this is both good and bad because if you burn all the XRP, like all 50 billion, $30 billion burn, you effectively lose the employees as well. Like you cannot, how can you pay the employees if you don't have XRP to pay, if you don't have the tokens to pay? So it is kind of silly. 27 billion I kind of get, $27 billion burn I get, but there would be nothing Ripple could do to stop that from happening. Public blockchains are very democratic, so people can literally vote and get a burn. But it's worth noting that such proposal won't be easy to pull off, as it will require an 80% majority from the network's validators. So if 80% of these biggest, basically the big house, think of it like Game of Thrones, agree, there could be an probably like $27-25 billion burn. XRP had a box office November with the value of the cryptocurrency surging by 150%. In the recent months has begun to buy back XRP in order to create a healthy market. So XRP, like once it gets more money, once Ripple gets more money from all these corporations, again, this was some time ago, but I still think it's gonna like bear the fruit. Then we could be seeing XRP buying and burning its own XRP, Ripple and XRP. So Ripple will burn its own XRP when they get more like this corporations, when they get the US government on board, which would be tons of money. That would be probably millions per year. That's what Bonk is doing. That's what Shiba Inu was doing. XRP could just do that on a way larger scale. So what has been happening with Hedera as well?
That pump you're going to roll.
Now Hedera, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are talking about Hedera. That's just a quick update. Because what I heard is Hedera is working with NVIDIA and Intel. So Hedera might be working with NVIDIA chips. Blockchain powers NVIDIA chips. So Hedera's blockchain powers NVIDIA's AI chips, sparking crypto excitement. This is why Hedera is pumping. It's pumping the biggest crypto company ever. That is why it's pumping, because developed by Ikila. I'm gonna skip you all the boring details. The community's response to this news has been overwhelmingly possible, with many predicting significant upside for HBAR, and that's why it went 25% up. What crypto company do you know that's working with NVIDIA? Because I don't know a single one. Like, this is the biggest craze. AI is becoming the biggest craze. NVIDIA has an infinite money glitch. It's literally the biggest. It reached 4 trillion valuation. So 4 trillion. And out of all, they decided Hedera. This development could herald a new era of growth and adoption, positioning Hedera as a quiet giant in the making. So this is the literal reason why Hedera is so pumped right now. Integration positions Hedera at the core of future AI infrastructure, a development that sparked considerable excitement within the crypto community. If Hedera gets like the AI pump again, this could be it. Like it could pump another 100% if NVIDIA decides to work more with them. Right now, their blockchain is what powers NVIDIA's AI chips. It's just a very small fraction they're working together. And that's what's keeping Hedera low. But they already entered NVIDIA's market, right? And they can like basically provide value, and they can in a way join NVIDIA. And then they make some of the NVIDIA's money or market cap in that way. And that to me is huge. Like, they don't have to be the next NVIDIA, right? Hedera might not do that, but at 23 cents, like, how many do you know working on these big chips? Because I don't know. XRP is trying to work with the government, and Hedera is doing the similar thing, but is trying to work with the big corporations such as NVIDIA. Is trying to secure more partnerships, right? And that's the big difference here. XRP, government and banks. Hedera is going to be technology of basically NVIDIA and big corporations. Maybe Apple is next, maybe Google is next. And that's what keeps me excited about it.
That being said, though, Crypto Week, that kind of is all bets are off the table, because we don't know how bonkers things are going to get this week. We've already seen volume.
Like, going from 19 cents to 25 cents might be just the start for cryptos like that. Like we literally saw 200, 300% growing phases. And guys, smash that like button. I really appreciate it, you all. If you do that, really helps the channel out as well.
Absolutely nuts. We've already seen ETFs playing absolutely huge. The alts are making moves. Volume of the alts themselves are good, so it's not just a BTC play. The alts are moving.
Again, the altcoins going back up just tells me there might be major partnerships in the making, especially for this one.
Moving with it. But key factors here, I want to see HBAR hold 25 cents throughout this entire crypto week.
I think HBAR, what it needs right now, so it can't just hold like that. So some whales will sell if there's no news. What it needs is like more and more news, more and more partnerships. That's how basically XRP keeps growing. If it keeps having the partnerships from big corporations, big or small, any type of news, it's going to pump Hedera to $1. But if it has no news, that's how the crypto markets work right now. The reason why XRP has been growing so much is not because something amazing happened, but it's because people saw that XRP is actively being developed and it's actively trying to change something. So if this crypto market moves very fast, and that's why meme coins, you know, they don't have anything to do during the bear market. So everybody's going to sell them. They're going to sell the coins that they care least about. We have also heard about the M2 money supply, and I kind of want to go in detail. I made a quick video on it. But there is another thing about the M2 supply. I think with Hedera, I kind of have a pretty clear set in stone that it can actually follow XRP. Might not be the next XRP, but they are going to be working with different corporations. Maybe it's going to be way easier to power their blockchain than powering banks. It's just like two ways to make money, right?
China just said the two magic words.
M2 money supply. That is big for crypto.
Mature. And saying it has no inherent value, yet they're one of regulation. The Fed.
So if China would enter crypto, if you don't remember, basically it banned all crypto. And they hate crypto in a sense. But if they can get crypto back to its point where, you know, people were buying and trading it. Imagine if people came in and bought XRP as soon as it launched in the markets. Right now, people cannot buy crypto in Russia and US, but that is a big money supply that could be coming in if they enable. Even I have nothing against Chinese coins, you know, if they are regulated and if they're their own thing. I mean, that might be a crazy take. I think US coins might perform better overall, but there's going to be like two communities for that. And that's where there could be a ton of money in joining power. Like crypto is crypto, right? There's a pretty big community there on TikTok and things like that. They use their own apps. So that could be a totally different thing that we never saw before. There is a very small community on crypto, basically. It's mostly in Korea, from what I remember, if I'm correct.
Federal Reserve,
which I am.
Actually just talked about Bitcoin, and the OCC talked about Bitcoin. We also have Vanguard calling Bitcoin immature and saying it has no inherent value, yet they're actually the number one holder of MSTR shares.
Okay, why would Vanguard say that Bitcoin has no value and crypto has no value if they hold so much Bitcoin? Maybe they're trying to like dump the price and buy more
of MSTR shares. So let's talk about all this. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Different UIs.
Again, there is something, the M2 predicted this pump perfectly. Guess what happens next? And everybody's talking about the M2 money supply. Basically, if you don't know, there's more and more money coming into this world. And people have become bored of investing in real estate. What will they invest in next? Will they invest into gold? Gold is very stable, and it's usually just a safety mechanism for a lot of people. So what else can you invest? You can invest in real estate. So what else? The stocks, sure. If you have $2 million or $1 million, you can make pretty decent money on stocks. But where were the most millionaires made in the last 10 years? Crypto. So everybody, every kid on the block is talking about crypto because with high rent, with high food cost, like milk being $20, of course, people will want to get rich to afford the life they see on social media. So are people going to be working still 20 years and putting all of their money into stocks to make 10%, 3% a year? Right now it's 7% because the markets are very bullish. No, I think kids will look for quick fixes. I think that's what, when I go to the gym, I see everybody is looking for a quick fix. And that's exactly what crypto is. That's why people are going there
really move
to get it.
But then we saw a $10,000 move by Bitcoin over the last week, or over the last like 4.
So yeah, that's why Bitcoin gained $10,000. It's literally people downloading the apps again and buying their XRP, buying their crypto.
5 days. So it's coming back in line with the M2 money supply. And the crazy thing is, like, both the US and China are looking at printing money, significant amounts of money. Those are the two.
They're literally always printing money. That's why people and these big corporations are buying. They're having, like, their money is not the issue. They're already making billions and billions of dollars every single year. But what can you do when you have so much money? You have to reinvest it. And that's why they're buying Bitcoin. That's why they're buying, BTC, XRP, Solana. That's why they're diversified. They don't want to only hold Bitcoin. What if Bitcoin goes down compared to other altcoins? When you invest $1,000, the difference might be $300. But with 1 million, it might be 300,000. So 300,000, lots of money, right? For these corporations. When they have to pay employees, they put it in stocks, real estate. And I feel like more people are going to be turning from real estate. They're going to be turning into cryptocurrencies and other assets. Real estate is getting harder to rent. It's getting more expensive. And it's just not worth it when someone can destroy your apartment that you rent for like $700, $1,000. And someone comes in and destroys your apartment, makes $3,000 of damage, and then you have all that stuff when you could be saying, oh, I could have put it in stocks or Bitcoin. And when you put it in stocks or Bitcoin, you could be passively making that money. So yeah, if you're like, renting out real estate, you got to realize these corporations, they want easy money. They want money that's not going to be a problem when they are looking at their financial returns. And that's why I see corporations don't buy it. They literally can't list it as an expense in the US, from what I remember. Maybe they can buy like an office, but they can't rent out all of that.
Obviously, economic superpowers in the world. The US hasn't even started cutting rates yet, but
So once we get rates cut off, I definitely think we could see 170K for Bitcoin.
Of the newly issued housing loans. I mean, imagine that. Let's say all of a sudden the Fed cut rates. And
yeah, exactly. This is history repeating itself. Once we got these mortgage rate cuts, which Trump has been calling for such a long time, this could be the issue.
They said, okay, we cut rates. You can get like a 3% mortgage. And everyone that got those 6, 7, 8% mortgages, we'll just lower them for you. Like, we'll come in and print the money. We'll lower them to 3% for you.
So yeah, people couldn't even afford houses. They couldn't afford to get loans. Sorry guys, didn't eat yet. But the thing I'm trying to make is this M2 money supply, there's too much money in this world. And big retail investors or big institutions, and also now retail investors are realizing that, because it's usually first the big corporations. They don't want to tell people, hey, you have too much money. The banks don't tell that. The banks, have tons of money, so they're going to do their own thing first. And then the people will realize, hey, maybe having $10,000 on the account shouldn't be good. Maybe we should invest it in assets. And that's exactly as planned, exactly as people predict.
That is game-changing stimulus. I mean, think about how much money that makes the average person. If you have a $300,000 mortgage and you go from 6% down to 3%, that could change hundreds, if not like $1,000 a month. So that was kind of crazy. And then they also announced the central bank is creating new monetary tools to support the stable development of the stock market. Basically saying,
yeah, so they're doubling down on the stock market, and they're also doubling down on Bitcoin. XRP is going to be 0% tax when you sell it. That's what Trump just said. From regulating Bitcoin to actually accepting it and giving it 0% tax, they did a full 180, this administration. 4 years ago, they wanted to regulate it and destroy it. and XRP had a $500 million lawsuit. So what this tells me is Bitcoin and crypto is going to be basically US little baby. They see there's a lot of money, it's basically a cash cow. So there's a lot of money to be made by basically adopting these companies. Like XRP is based in the US. It has like 900 employees, 500 or 900. Anyway, in 5 different countries. I'm pretty sure it's 900. And instead of them having a huge lawsuit and tons of money being lost because of that, they say, hey, XRP, build us better banks. We're going to work with you. And when we build better banks, we want you to basically build a blockchain for us, build all the utilities for it. And we're going to get all the employees' benefits, the taxes. We're still going to tax you. But when people sell your crypto, you're going to be 0%. And XRP is like, hell yeah, I'm going to be working with the US government, who's probably going to invest $3 billion like it's nothing into me. And then XRP, slowly kind of walks away, very proud, like walking down with the car and being happy, because they just made $3 billion and it's a win-win for both sides. The US government gets great system. It basically shows to other countries and other crypto companies, if you come to the US and become a crypto company, if you form in the US and hire US employees, you're going to have lots more buyers coming in. They want to basically make a tax hub for crypto. They want to make the big hub, and they show to other countries, hey, we have XRP. Hey, we have ADA. So Cardano is based in US. We have XLM, Stellar, or I think even Hedera is in US. And that gives like China, basically China, which doesn't like crypto, it wants to regulate it. Now, China might be forced to enter crypto as well, which would pump XRP, which would pump crypto.
Them to just like literally hand out checks like we saw back in COVID. So,
again, they're going to have to try to find another way, because US is saying this is so much money. What should we do? US comes in and swoops all the market. China basically is going to focus in other technology. They do have great technology, by the way. But Bitcoin like that, if they buy 700 million of Bitcoin, other countries might follow. Just like US had done a lot of stuff, other countries followed. So I remember when US said Bitcoin is nice, tons of other countries said Bitcoin is legal tender, like smaller countries. So maybe European Union will also say, hey, Bitcoin isn't that bad.
Proof of it, it's not against the rules. And you can see just regulation improving and just more clarity on regulation as well. Of course.
So yeah, they just revealed that Federal Reserve and US regulators issue statements saying banks are allowed to custody Bitcoin and crypto. So this means, I remember when Bitcoin crypto was frozen on your bank account, but this means that, I think this is just the extra step that XRP, ADA, Cardano, any other Bitcoin you can think of, even SHIB, banks can now hold it just like an exchange. Exchanges will have a big problem now getting customers if this goes through, because it's gonna, in a way, they're gonna be multi billionaires, all these exchanges, because it's gonna boost their coins as well. Because why? Well, for a very simple reason. Crypto to buy right now is very hard. But when you have crypto regulation, when you allow banks to do that, you can buy with 2 clicks. You can have your bank account already connected and you can buy XRP from your bank. Like, how many people know how to open exchange accounts? Not many, from what I know. It's very hard to open a crypto exchange. With this, wow, you can make 2 easy steps. The bank will be like, hey, we just enabled crypto. You want to buy some crypto? You call the bank teller. Yeah, can I buy it from the app? Yeah, you can. What do you want to buy? I want to buy $1,000 of XRP. I want to buy $1,000 of BNB or Ethereum, $200 of Bitcoin. Done. It's done. You don't even have to open a new account. Maybe you have to sign a form or something. But provide crypto asset safekeeping in fiduciary, I didn't spell that correctly, capacity must comply with this and this and that. You have to comply with this, such as trustee, an executor of will, an administrator of estate. So basically they're saying that the banks can hold crypto.
This will be a big week for crypto with 3 different bills that could be passed that could help regulation with stable
So yeah, this is one extra step to getting crypto out there.
coins and fostering innovation instead of just destroying it like what the old SEC did. So overall,
so yeah, everything that's been destroyed is now being rebuilt. But basically when you destroy a wooden bridge, right, you can build a metal bridge. So they're basically rebuilding the metal bridge of itself. And I guess a lot of people are very happy about that. That's why Bitcoin is pumping. This news is much bigger than you think.
a volume today, a lot of volume traded, but yeah,
Bitcoin is now BlackRock's 3rd highest revenue ETF. So yeah, they have other stuff, but I was always guessing like this tells them that Bitcoin is the big thing right now for them. Like the biggest asset exchange. It might not last because Bitcoin might go down and they won't be making that much money, but it's a very, very good step. So I'm really excited for that. We do have more Crypto Week Live. We have a hearing tomorrow for the ISO 200,022 for XRP.
XRP has broken all
all-time highs.
kinds of records in very recent history, and what it's just done has actually never happened before. And yes, this is something that was unfathomable for many individuals at this time, and I gotta say, XRP is showing some signs of life that frankly most people never thought it would show at this point into the cycle. But that's what
So look at this. Representative French, just before we go to that video, Representative French Hill just urged the House to pass Bitcoin and crypto market structure bill. It's happening. Now, why won't this load? Okay, here we go. So literally representatives want to talk about how they can accept the crypto market bill, but oh my, it just doesn't want to load. I'll do it manually. I'll find a way. So let's go back to the XRP video.
you have to do when it comes to cryptocurrency. You have to always expect the unexpected, because if you're not, well,
U.S. Senate Banking Committee clears to regulatory framework to ensure that America becomes the crypto capital of the world. So I think this is the literal thing that the video is talking about.
Markets and the next global guidance. If we fail to lead, America will cede the future of capital markets and the next generation of the internet to other jurisdictions, leaving consumers with a far less functional and less responsible marketplace. Who does this hurt most? Our constituents. The Clarity Act alleviates these concerns head-on by leveraging the existing capabilities at the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodity Future Trading Commission. I'm proud to say this bill is the product of countless bipartisan discussions between members of, as I said at the top, financial services and agriculture committees. It builds on the years of work in the past 2 Congresses that produced our bipartisan framework bill in the 118th Congress called FIT 21, a bill that earned 71 Democratic.
So who's going to be behind this rally? Of course, it's going to be XRP. XRP is the one that's going to, sweep in and say, hey, can we build that? Can we build this? And it's going to also reap all the profits from the US government. So this is huge for XRP. XRP is going to be building the next future crypto hub. So just remember that, guys. You heard first on this channel. Jokes aside, definitely big news in the making. Like, look at this. They're having meetings every single week. Like, every time I go online and stream, half the time I'm streaming these hearings because there's so much content to talk about crypto that really made me want to get back into it.
you're most definitely going to be caught off guard, and you're going to be wishing that you were expecting the unexpected.
Like, this is a total 180 from what we heard 4 years before.
And in some cases, still know very little. Yet the industry has
calls to create clear regulatory framework to ensure that America becomes the crypto capital of the world. This is what I was talking about. They want to pump these crypto companies, US crypto companies, on being the next big coin, next big thing.
Close to all-time highs, and many other cryptos are doing amazingly well. Now, I want to play this clip for you guys real quick because this is a really important part for...
I just want to wake up tomorrow a millionaire. Well, that would be nice. Hopefully, the U.S. government can make us all rich.
What we're going to be expecting to see later on. Listen up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing and for indulging us in finally addressing the topic of digital assets. When I arrived here 4.5 years ago, there was very little knowledge about digital assets. And to the extent that there was fear because it is something about which people knew very little, and in some cases still know very little. Yet the industry has innovated and grown and become a force in our economy, and in fact in the global.
Again, they're going to try to take everything that the other countries could not take first. El Salvador tried to take it, become the next Bitcoin city, and that's why we're seeing Bitcoin city. And they bought Bitcoin at a very low price. And that's what's keeping them at large right now. They correctly predicted Bitcoin in 2021 and basically doubled their money.
Economy. We now see one digital asset company not only make an appearance on the S&P 500, but come into the...
This is what I've been telling you guys. Literally, I told you this, guys, 3 minutes ago, and now we are hearing the government basically confirming exactly what I said. They are basically saying to the people, we are going to be working on basically becoming the next stock market for crypto. And we're going to be the first.
The S&P 500 in about the 135th position. That's how big this company is. We see several companies going public this year.
Again, crypto companies going public.
Get ahead of the United States in terms of establishing.
That's why they have these hearings every single week, because they have to rush it in. They're seeing that Bitcoin is not going to wait for them. 2021, they could still be waiting and watching on the sideline. But 2025, they finally said what exactly crypto is and how you can start a crypto company in the US.
Establishing a clear regulatory framework for digital assets. We have allowed regulatory agencies that are unfriendly toward this asset to use regulatory functions such as enforcement actions to bring about a regulatory morass for these industries when they've been unable to find out what regulatory framework they're supposed to follow, not having received clear guidance from the regulatory agencies to which.
Right. And so
yeah, this tells me that the US government is going to probably speed track later this year or next year, maximum 3 years, and then they're going to go big on crypto. Like, literally, they don't have the time anymore. They're trying to beat other countries. If China or India or Russia, like, go double down on crypto, this might be, like, leaving a lot of money on the table for the other countries. So they literally want to be the first one in the horse race who is going to be first to regulate crypto and invite all these big players, all these big companies. So if for example, Dubai sets up their crypto framework first before US, some crypto companies, and they set it up better, some crypto companies might move to Dubai instead of US. This is exactly how it happens. And then hire Dubai workforce, Dubai food, Dubai money. It's already happening on a smaller scale because crypto is not so big. But now imagine that US tries to set up this framework next year. This is going to be a very big portion of people coming in, working US jobs for the US government, eating US food in US restaurants, having fancy dinners at sky top views. And that's where the US government is aiming for. And they're going to pay US tax on everything. You want that, food in the store, you got to pay US tax. You want to have a house, you got to buy US tax. It's going to support US economy more than the US can realize. And that is why they're pushing for a government framework. President Trump says, I go on TV and the market goes wild. I can just move it just by talking.
once here too. I mean, Trump, he loves to take credit for what's going on here.
I feel like this has been building up. Like this frustration and anger and these big institutions wanting to join in, we have been seeing this build up. Everyone and the big institutions in 2022 were silently buying, and we content creators have been warning viewers that this is going to happen. And it happened exactly as we predicted. Now we can see that this might be the next big thing for 2025, when 2021 was all about meme coins and crypto tokens. Now it's all about regulation and development. Literally, I was calling about this 4 years ago on my channel, saying that most people will invest into regulation and crypto development and government stuff next 4 years, because it was mostly NFTs. Nothing was basically developed. It was here, there. Like 4 years ago, you had cryptos come up in 1 week and they were gone tomorrow because it was easy money for some people, right? But now the US government is going to say, no, no, no. If you want to have a US crypto coin, you have to set it up in the US. You have to show us documents. You have to show us assets and what someone is doing on the chain, so we don't repeat something that happened in 2025. And XRP is like, I'm all up for it. Can I become your #1 man? XRP is like, yeah, let's do it. Let's work out. They shake their hands and they make a $100 million deal, or a very big deal. And then the US is like, hey, you can do anything you want. You're going to be the #1 pick. You're going to be helping our banks be the #1 in fast transactions in blockchain. And when that happens, wow, XRP pumps to $3, XRP pumps to $5, XRP pumps to $10. Heck, I even see it $20, $15. They got to burn some amount. And I think they're willing to do that actually when the community demands it. So XRP at $15 might be crazy like this year, but in 3 to 5 years, when the US government basically adopts them as their basically mascot. That's what XRP is right now. It's the US mascot to show that the technology behind crypto exists and that they can expand and grow. XRP has been growing at such a fast level that you cannot see that with any other crypto coin.
Intermediary, and then you can get exposure to this asset, right? I mean, there's like all different types of ETFs.
So BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF is now the company's most profitable ETF. Again, I know a lot of crypto content creators talk about this, but what they fail to miss is that this is happening right now, that Bitcoin is at an all-time high. This might drop, but what won't drop is the development for these cryptos. So I am definitely excited. If BlackRock is the biggest US company or basically institution is making so much money on Bitcoin, this tells them to double down on it. This tells them to add more ETFs to make it easier to buy for people.
A group of stock dividend ETFs, you know, there's Bitcoin ETFs.
Guys, smash that like button if you haven't already. Thank you so much for anyone subscribing or liking.
You name it, right?
Welcome to the stream.
There's all these different exchange traded funds. Now, the reason why it's such a big deal that the Bitcoin ETF is the company's most profitable ETF is because ETFs, when they were first introduced, were incredible, and they still are an incredible technology today. It gives people the ability to get exposure to things they otherwise wouldn't, right? You know, buying a Bitcoin ETF, ironically, in the United States of America, was much more safe for the last 5 years than actually buying Bitcoin, because there was complete uncertainty on whether or not.
I actually fully agree with Levi here. He knows what he's talking about. So when you buy an ETF, you're basically securing yourself from any hacks. You're basically entrusting these big institutions that are fully regulated, so all crypto exchanges are not fully regulated, to store it for you, to keep safe it for you. And who's buying this? Well, people with lots of money. So if you have 2 million, people buy ETFs, they don't buy it on exchanges anymore. Or if you have 30 million. So this is why crypto pumped so much in 3 years, is because if you wanted to buy crypto, you also had to understand the risk that comes with it, especially tons of money. That's why a lot of people didn't hold big amounts in 2016, because, you know, Mt. Gox went down. Nobody trusted that exchange will stay for a long time. Now, you can expect to buy 300 million of Bitcoin and it will not disappear, because these institutions, if they lose this Bitcoin, they get in big trouble. They're responsible for your assets. And I guess that's the big part of why BlackRock is very hyped about selling. They make a small commission on the Bitcoin profit for storing your crypto, and you can sell it anytime. You don't have to learn how to sell it. You just click the sell button and that's it, or you call a spokesperson.
Unfathomable amounts of money. I mean, BlackRock alone has made billions of dollars just from their ETF, with just how much transaction volume they're making off of that.
I think they either make 0.25% a year or like a 0.02 volume fee. And when you see big volume, this really adds up.
I believe it's hundreds of millions, if not like close to $1 billion in fees, which is insane. You know, they're not really doing anything except for buying Bitcoin for the people that are buying the ETF. I mean,
The thing is, it's very hard to be approved as an ETF. Like, it might be insane, but imagine holding $300 million. How many people or corporations can do that? Can you, like, there's no institution. Like, you might think, oh, I can set up my own ETF and hold Bitcoin for someone. But when someone buys, you actually need to own 300 million. So you can't just say, oh, if you buy, I'm going to buy 1 Bitcoin. No, that's why they bought it at a very cheap price, like Bitcoin 80,000, because now they got like 4 Bitcoin for the price of 1. It was basically on discount. When Bitcoin was 18,000, all these big institutions that have ETF like BlackRock bought it at a very cheap discount, because they now can only give like what was before 1 Bitcoin. They can now give 0.25% Bitcoin, which is 100,000, and make tons of money from that as well. So they literally don't have to give 1 for 1, and they hold everything on that. So again, it costs so much money to actually hold that amount. It's not so easy just making an ETF and going from there. But yeah, BlackRock profiting from this, they definitely made a lot of money, and it just shows them that crypto is going to go strong.
Great job of kind of summarizing this. I want to read out the thread to you guys real quick. They said, this is not normal. We have reached a point where Bitcoin is moving in a literal straight line higher. Rates are...
So yeah, US posts historic 360 billion deficit in the May. Again, there's going to be tons of crypto regulation that might make Bitcoin explode, and therefore other altcoins.
You can see Bitcoin has reached a point where it is quite literally making multiple new all-time highs a day. Since the U.S. House passed President Trump's big beautiful bill on July 3rd, Bitcoin is up $15,000.
I think we're seeing the same scenario as 2021. People don't have to pay taxes on tips. So what will they do with their tips? You know, like the workers, that's like 30 million, I'm pretty sure. Like waitress or working in a hotel or somewhere where you get a tip, you have to pay taxes on that. So now they have 0% tax. Where do you put this money? You put it into the stock market. You put it into the crypto itself. That's exactly what's happening right now.
If the surge in gold prices didn't alert you, well, Bitcoin absolutely should.
Welcome to the stream, everyone, as well.
To be more obvious in this, take a look at the year-to-date performance of Bitcoin. And
so again, I think this is going to happen. That's why Trump is pushing to drop the interest rates, because when interest rates drops, the altcoin season will start. So it's just a waiting game at this point.
And the US dollar index, the DXY. There were 2 distinctive points of divergence. April 9th, after the 90-day tariff pause, and July 1st, as the big, beautiful bill was passed. It's beyond clear. You can see from this chart right here, this is a 90-day pause, as you can see on the screen right here. And then right here is...
It could be the 90-day tariff pause. Like the thing is, this is kind of like inflated, right? So the 90-day tariff pause was kind of expected. I just think it's kind of positive news towards more positive news, and everything adds up. So there was a lot of, like, look at this. When I think what happened is this price. So look at this. This was when tariffs were announced, right? So there was a huge dip where tariffs were announced. And they said 90-day tariffs pause here. So what it actually just did is it reclaimed the value it has lost. So that's exactly what happened. Whenever tariffs are announced, the price drops.
It's the divergence. I mean, pretty interesting stuff that's going on. Heading in July, the market received data that the U.S. posted a $316 billion deficit for May 2025 alone.
That's crazy. So they have to make this money back somehow. And the market is the largest. This marked the largest deficit on record. My markets remain hopeful as Elon Musk pushed back on the spending bill.
This marked the third largest deficit on record, but markets remained hopeful as Elon Musk pushed back on the spending bill. But
I wonder what's the biggest deficit. Like, I guess basically setting up the country. I think that's what a lot of the deficit was. They did a lot of stuff this year. They did probably more than last 4 or 5 years. To be fair, a lot of stuff happened, some good, some bad. But all of this setting up the U.S. companies for the future, even with Elon Musk and everything, I bet that cost a lot of money. So they're going to try to reclaim some of this money back. I'm definitely thinking, like, if this happens, this is like, we have reached a point where Bitcoin is moving a little straight point, right? If we get the crypto approved, like the crypto regulation bill approved, Bitcoin could go to 150K in my opinion. So I'm definitely very excited. XRP, like $3 for sure. Bitcoin, you know, people not selling at 123K basically tells you that Bitcoin is going to go higher. They don't want to sell. They don't want to sell ever. They're not selling until it hits 200K. So there is actually another big news for XRP that I was talking about, that Trump is actually planning to work with XRP. It's not that crazy theory.
Trump signed an executive order when he originally got in, and that order is going to take effect in September. That is going to affect the U.S. payment system, blockchain, crypto, and...
Again, I already said that the XRP is going to be working on making these payment systems. So they already met on a dinner. Trump literally met on dinner with the XRP CEO, Brad Garlinghouse.
So much more. I wanted to take a closer look at this and what we can expect in September. You also have just volume popping off in Korea. I wanted to take a closer look.
We already talked about Korea though, but this one in September. Preparation for business to count cryptocurrency as an asset for mortgage.
Cryptocurrencies this is talking about. What does it cover? Is it real? All right.
So stable coins might be very well becoming the next big thing. I already talked about some part of it of the Korean markets and did my theory on this. So we'll use Ripple custody to provide secure infrastructure for XRP RLUSD. So US has about 55 million holders or 55 million potential buyers. So where do you go from here? How does US make more money? It reaches people from other countries. So it convinces people to buy US coins. That's why people in Europe, they don't buy the European stock market. They buy the S&P 500, the US stock market. So that is another thing you have to consider. A lot of countries, even a lot of residents, even from their own country, they want to buy the US stuff because it gives the biggest returns. Like, yeah, some people buy the Chinese stock market, but that's a very small portion compared to how many buy the US.
26 that it has signed a strategic partnership with Ripple, the leading provider of digital asset infrastructure for financial institutions. The partnership aligns with Financial Services Commission's recently announced the roadmap for regulatory approval of institutional participation.
So September, literally the historic time that crypto explodes, is going to be now the historic time that XRP and all these companies will get this approved. BDACS will leverage Ripple custody to provide custody infrastructure services for XRP and their stablecoin and other crypto assets, supporting XRP ledger developers and ecosystem growth, building infrastructure and collaboration to support the stablecoin. So yeah, they're focusing on stablecoin right now, but they're partnering to expand institutional custody on South Korea. Exactly as I said, South Korea has many buyers, and this is just, you know, a potential factor, maybe 0.1% of what they could achieve if they keep working on this.
Yeah, to expand its reach.
Welcome everyone to the stream, and thank you so much for smashing that like button as well.
For XRP. It says today we are partnering with BDAX to extend institutional crypto custody in South Korea. BDAX will use Ripple custody to provide secure infrastructure for XRP, RLUSD, and other crypto assets, supporting institutional adoption, XRPL developer growth, and Korea's evolving regulatory landscape. And so here is the article. BDEX is a leading digital asset institutional custody for.
Again, this might be just the start of new partnerships. I think once the US gives a green light to Korea and all these exchanges, once the US government approves it, we are going to be seeing more countries entering and working with Ripple. Upbit, South Korea's largest exchange, basically saw the biggest trading with XRP and the Korean won, basically their own US dollar.
And capital controls further incentivizes activity or active trading and arbitrage, since sometimes, crypto can be a little bit more expensive in Korea itself, than other places.
They're going to make it cheaper. They're literally going to make it cheaper to buy.
In Korea are trying to get ahead of they believe a big demand for XRP is coming, and people are trying to position themselves accordingly.
So yeah, Upbit is probably going to be the first exchange that's going to allow Koreans to buy it, because right now there's a lot of fees when you want to buy in Korea. You have to open an account, you have to send it from the bank. There's probably like $50, $100 in fees. And now that basically XRP is having this partnership, it might make it easier for anyone outside of the US to buy XRP by itself. The regulation is getting there. Asia has a very strict stance on crypto. In China, you can't even buy XRP. That's why Korea is taking it very slow after Terra Luna Classic. If you don't know what happened with Terra Luna Classic, it was XRP's competitor. It got absolutely destroyed and fell to $0. People lost billions. People did bad things to themselves. And some, even like a friend of a friend or a friend work acquaintance, lost $300,000. So this is not just fairy tale jokes. Someone that I never met, but I believe that he lost $300,000. And I believe that some people lost $1 million, or they lost $3 million, or they lost $25 million. Crypto Banter, a YouTuber, lost pretty much, I think he lost a few million, maybe even 800,000. I'm not too sure how much he lost, but he lost a very hurting amount in the Terra Luna Classic. Some people pulled their money out, but Ripple is going to ensure this never happens again. That was literally the wipe for everyone.
I too love this. More demand, more XRP that's being taken off exchanges, less XRP that's available. If we can bring the circulating supply down at the same time, man, we could do some crazy things with the price. Exchange dynamics. Upbit, South Korea's largest exchange, is at the center of this surge. Recent data has shown XRP KRW pairs dominating Upbit's volume.
Again, what I said, this is the big news that everyone has been waiting for.
To and from
the executive order, the order's main goals are to increase efficiency. All federal disbursements and receipts must be made electronically, including social services, tax refunds. Again, this is just the early stages, what we are seeing with a deep dive into crypto.
Coins and paper dollars eventually will go to it. This will all be digital in the next, 10, 20 years.
Yeah, like who uses dollars anymore? Everybody uses a card right now. So the banks are trying to do the same. They're trying to, look, if the banks accept crypto, there's a very big chance that they will want you to use crypto. Why? Because they get fees. That's what they care about. They care about the money that they get from crypto. They don't care about crypto as a whole, but they definitely care about missing out on potential fees. Every single company is going to care about the money that they could get and they're not getting. That's why US is entering crypto. Because right now, these banks want fast transactions, but they don't have the system to do it. And Ripple is trying to help them achieve it. Literally right now, we are seeing crypto exchanges doing the faster transactions than banks. You send a transaction in the bank and it's tomorrow. And right before 2016, 2017, it was so small, the market, that nobody cared if a bank had crypto or not, because most people didn't own or buy crypto. But now with Bitcoin at 120K, yeah, the market cap is almost at 4 trillion. Of course, the government is starting to see what exactly is happening.
Deregulatory stance from the Trump administration, which has also emphasized support on the responsible growth of the...
So what's up, guys? What's up?
Net and the XRP ledger,
Goat.
which are designed for fast, low cost, and cross-border transactions. If the government seeks efficient interoperability solutions for payments, blockchain-based platforms, including XRP, could be considered, especially in part of the modernization efforts. And then you also have XRP's technical features.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Who's going to wait 5 days to send a transaction? Because I sure won't. If my grandma sends me $100 and I want to buy Bitcoin, in 3 days it's going to be probably $130 to buy. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. Why would I buy it? So that's why they want to work with Ripple to make it pump. Because if you have, I got charged $16 fees to send it overseas. Who charges for $16? And then you have someone as a Ripple who not like the issue with Ethereum is its high fees, like $3, $4. When you have a fraction of a cent, 0.01 cent maybe, they're trying to get this cost lower. It's a very big difference than paying $20 to send a transaction for might be a big amount, might be $1,000, but again, the system is outdated. The technology is moving fast.
Such as instant settlement, low-cost transactions, and transparency align with the modern.
And the biggest issue I have is some banks don't work on Saturday or Sunday. Literally ask any crypto exchange and they have support any time of the year. So, you know, they're closed on holidays. They can't help you. That's the thing. Like, this is always going to be on. If you want to send it at 3 a.m. on a Sunday or 2 a.m. on a Saturday, you can do it. But with crypto banks, you got to wait until tomorrow. What if you need a same time, same day, same place that you need to complete a sale, or your friend needs money badly? So that's the issue. If your friend needs money badly, he needs like $20 or he's going to pass away, or like, for example, I'm going to hit a very emotional side of an example. You want to give homeless person some money, but you don't have any sort of dollars because you always use the card. And the homeless person has a $20 phone because phones are getting cheaper. The cheapest I saw is like $40. With XRP, it's literally going to save lives. And, you know, you can call me delusional, but that's how it's going to work. You're going to pull your phone out and you're going to give homeless person $3 tip, or I mean $3 like donation. So this is where I'm seeing the big problem with the current banking. It's trying to become this big, flashy, you know, big buildings. But I think the technology is really changing in a way. It's how people want to work for the future. They want to keep their operations. They want to keep their transfer fees low. Everybody wants to have low transfer fees. Anyway, guys, I know I'm talking really fast because this gets me really excited to talk about it. So thank you so much.
Organization goals outlined in the order. So, you know, Ripple says, hey, we comply with all of this stuff. We're perfect for you.
I'm very vocal about stuff that maybe frustrates me or that I know a lot about. That's why we have so many viewers on the stream, because I don't always talk about crypto, but when I do, it's because I'm right. I like to give real life examples. Everybody's thinking, oh, XRP is just another shit coin, basically, right? It's not going to help at all. But when you look at real life examples, when I tell someone that it could literally save a homeless person's life by sending an instant transaction, which Ripple is doing to work with the bank, then it kind of changes someone's opinion, right? Because people were calling 2 years, 3 years ago, crypto a scam. Now they're calling it, oh, it's amazing. You can send a transfer. That is huge. And here is the big thing. Ripple will have all of this ready because it's been working 15 years on this. So it will have it ready pretty much soon. And the whales are buying.
These reports of government interest in using XRP as a bridge asset for real-time gross settlement and as a part of a strategic reserve, but these are not formalized in the executive order itself. All right. You also have some information being posted about the U.S. Director of Federal Housing has ordered preparation for businesses to count cryptocurrency. This does not involve XRP. It doesn't mention XRP. I just want to be absolutely clear. The document is real. Okay. Multiple news sources, including Reuters, CNBC, Fox, all posted this. And I just want you to show here, cryptocurrency as an asset. For the first time, borrowers may be able to use verified cryptocurrency holding, such as those stored in U.S. regulated centralized exchanges, as part of their reserves when applying for a mortgage. Previously, crypto assets had to be converted to U.S. dollar to count towards mortgage qualifications. So
So again, I don't have much to say on that, but no immediate loan approval is going to be big. It's not going to mention XRP exactly because there's nothing to mention XRP to. But it definitely means that right now, more US companies, like for the first time, borrowers may be able to use cryptocurrency holdings such as stored on US regulated centralized exchange, part for when applying for a mortgage. So they can basically freeze your assets if you don't pay, right? I guess the thing is they will really vet you how you got this crypto. Did you buy it at an early price? And where exactly did you get it? But this is a pretty amazing news for anyone just holding crypto in a safe way and wants to buy their own house without selling it, or basically they can keep it as a if they don't pay it off. So that's the news right now. Just gonna go to a bathroom break. Gonna react to this video as soon as I come back.
That this was gonna happen yesterday, right? And I know some of the people, right? They're gonna be like, yeah, you know, whatever. Move on to the next thing. When I put out a video yesterday talking about the Fed buyback, I'm always just interested to see what the comments are like, and a lot of them will say, where did you get this number from? $37,500. I didn't just pull it out of thin air, right? I'm pulling it out of the places that I'm reading, the sources that I'm going after, as well as the conversations that are had. You know, I talked about the Fed buyback in many videos, and yes, while it's not a confirmed thing that these things haven't happened, and maybe it won't happen, but there's a chance that these things could happen. And yes, $37,500, while it is being stated out there, 37,000, 30,000, 20,000, 10,000, all of these numbers that are out there. Again, it doesn't mean that it's 100% going to happen. It means that this is a possibility that is kind of far-fetched, but it is a possibility that these things can happen. Now, again, if I knew...
I definitely think that XRP at $15 is possible. What we're seeing, nobody believed that XRP is going to be $3 for more than one day. 2018, XRP was only $3 for a few days, and then it was sold off by a whale. And there's people that were selling XRP for 20 cents. That's the issue here. People have a hindsight mindset. So what this means is they only look at the past and they don't really understand it. And when you see that, you see people saying, oh, I should have sold it at $3.2. And now I've been waiting years. But you don't understand what happened in the past to convince you for that. So the point I'm trying to make here is nobody understands that XRP might hit $15. But if you look at the patterns, if you look at it's going to be the first thing that really made crypto US big, the sky's the limit.
That it was 100% a confirmed thing, would I be a person that's setting up an exit plan super early in the process? I mean, maybe I still will. And the reason why I still would is because I set up an exit plan, I stick to that exit plan, right? I don't necessarily need...
I think most of the XRP holders are incredibly rich. Anyone holding XRP right now doesn't have to sell. If you're selling meme coins, yeah, you kind of need that money, right? You're just starting out in life. In my opinion, like I could be totally wrong. And from the traders I spoke to, a lot of people make money by meme coins. But the mentality from XRP is they have houses, they have kids, they have, you know, good family support, and there's no need for them to sell their XRP. Same we saw with Terra Luna Classic. That's why it grows. It hits an entire different basically audience of holders. So like-minded holders who are already very wealthy and are waiting to make more money, who understand that how the US economy works. Maybe a lot of XRP holders already made their money with crypto. Some of them maybe made their money with the stock market. And that's the big thing. When you see all these pump fun meme coins, Solana, you can see that it's mostly people in early 20s who are looking for the next big hit. But with XRP, I see a lot of institutions, a lot of people who have a basic understanding of XRP and how it works. And then they come to my channel to see if there's any more info about it. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys as well to coming to the stream.
$2 billion, right? I don't necessarily need however much I would end up getting if it did reach that level. But I know that all of these levels are a possibility. So I will continue to talk about them, whether you like them or not, right? But I will, if you watch the video, you will understand where I'm coming from and you will understand where the number came from. Really, really good platform.
So yeah, Matthew Perry has been actually in crypto for years. And that's what makes it big. Like, look at this. $3 and nobody's selling is definitely very bullish. And sometimes when it's a very big spike, I can immediately see if a whale bought it. So you can see this big spike. It basically means it's a mix of a whale and a mix of retail institution. So some big corporation bought it here. And this, you see this big spike here. So this, to me, I'm not a pro trader by any means, but when it's a fast spike like that and like this, it's usually someone selling off millions and millions. So all the whales from 2022 and 2021, when they couldn't sell it for $3, are probably selling it now, and new whales are coming in. So literally, people, it's exactly as I predicted. And this is why people watch my channel, is because I am not saying everything I know about crypto, but when I say something, it's because I'm right. I said that the XRP whales that have bought in 2021 are waiting for the $3 mental mark to sell it off, and that's exactly what they're doing off right now. So this is basically the exit plan for them.
$10,000, $37,000 per coin. Now, while that is a conversation and a conversation starter, there's so much that can happen there. There's so much that can push it up to higher levels, but it's not saying that that is a 100% given thing. So today, in the last 24 hours, we've seen this go from a low here of $2.79 all the way up to a high. Why am I getting all these things? No, I don't want messages. I can do it from it's from a high of $3.
So yeah, just gaining 20 cents just means that it could reach $1 very fast.
And 2 cents. And then back down to a little bit of a low, right, of $2.91, increasing back up to $2.99, resisting off of there. So we could see that continue to retrace based on what we're seeing with Bitcoin overall. If we go over to...
So yeah, Bitcoin and XRP are following a very big pattern. I think a lot of whales have sold some of their XRP, but they might buy at a very cheap level, maybe in a few bear markets in a few months. So that is the difference here, is I am seeing that more people are holding Bitcoin, and some of the whales, exactly as I told you guys, are selling their XRP.
Be acceptance, will be adoption, will be partnerships and use in the end, to see XRP not only heavily being used, but also the price movement, the FOMO that goes into it,
just one meeting with the US government, just one meeting, and I can see it immediately pumping to $4. So there is this thing that XRP has actually burned 14 million. So let me just pull that up. XRP burned on the verge of 14 million. Ledger is on the verge of reaching a significant deflationary milestone with a total number of XRP burned already approaching $14 million. Well, if we actually put, I guess, 14 million tokens. So if an XRP is $3 right now, estimated, so that is $42 million burned off the market. $43 million is never going to be reaching another sell Andy non-diamond hands wallet. Once a time, this led strategy burning of XRP with the current approaching 14 million. Again, 40 million is a lot of money. It's more than most companies make. Traditional token burn mechanisms such as buybacks or community-led campaigns. So if they do buybacks again in the future, once they make more money, they could literally buy it and sell it again. Each transaction contains a small amount of XRP that is permanently destroyed, which aids in spam prevention and network efficiency. So literally, as we are talking, XRP is being burned at this rate. With the launch of native USDC on basically XPRL, developers, institutions, and users get access to the world's largest regulated stablecoin for enterprise B2B payments. So yeah, we do have more in the news though. I'm excited to share to you. I think we should do another XRP video because right now XRP is booming. So XRP has made tons and tons of money. I'm wondering, XRP retail and institutions buying.
12.5 billion volume in the last 24 hours, battling the $3 mark. Yeah, you know we're talking about XRP, and we'll talk about it more throughout this video. We're also going to
I love his voice. I like crypto with claws.
talk about the Bank of England saying, yo, we don't want your stable coins here. BTC breaking all time.
So yeah, while these big institutions are rejecting stable coins, literally the big institutions are like US is going to accept it.
Highs, venture capital money flowing along with,
I say lots of naughty.
oh baby, and what else do we get?
Yeah, so it does seem like right now the community operates like XRP, their first comment in less than 3 seconds. And then you can see, would you buy more XRP at these prices or strict with your $2 buy price? So with XRP being $2 right now, should you, I mean $3 right now, should you wait? And this is the thing that nobody really knows. I think the risk of XRP, you know, it's much easier to buy XRP at $1 and profit than it is to buy $3 and profit. But there could be a few cents to be made. Now, is this cents more than Bitcoin? I think the risk is much higher. I definitely think it's bound to hit $4 at some point. Maybe not this bull run.
14. XRP at 296 while SWI is deep in the green. You're going to notice, all right, during this week that certain players are going to have the oomph, the momentum, the drive, and others won't. You're also going to notice that some are going to have trouble breaking through very big mental price barriers. Okay, just keep an eye on that. Some of your favorites out there, they're going to be right around these round numbers, and they're going to kind of be fighting around that. All right, let's talk.
I think a lot of like people, when cryptos pump, they also want to sell basically. So as soon as these cryptos pump, you can actually see this for XRP is that the some of the whales will sell. And that's just the way the market is. Some want to take profit at $3.
Talk about a crypto market cap hits 3.8 trillion. Yeah, I think in the video this morning I said 3.8 billion. Oops.
So yeah, crypto market cap is going to make more. Basically, it's market cap. You know, UK makes this every single year. But just to tell you, it's basically making as much as UK. So lots of money, and UK is kind of bearish on crypto. Buy signal while classic pattern hits at 4.45 trillion target. People are afraid that, you know, this will not last until 4.35 million.
Yeah,
trillion.
Grayscale IPO. That was the video from this morning. The reporting period marked the 13th consecutive week of net inflows with cumulative
Yeah, so it does seem like that the big institutions are now buying crypto in a very fast pace. And who do they go to? They go to the other institutions like BlackRock, where they already can buy it. Change that picture and you will attract more people. Which picture?
Miners go in.
There's no picture I have.
Right? Kind of see the ecosystem that's happening here. Meanwhile, a key factor for contributing to the rally is the sharp
You mean a thumbnail?
imbalance between Bitcoin supply and the growing demand from ETFs. Bitwise had earlier reported that inflows averaged 8,200 BTC, while only 450 are mined every day. For context, spot ETFs.
So yeah, there's probably more Bitcoin bought right now than getting, you know, that it's more bought than it's getting mined. So that means a lot.
Purchased 10,000 BTC on July 10th, more than 20 times the daily.
Yeah, so 20 times. And that is for spot ETFs purchased. I think there's a lot more money where that came from.
Right? The LB, just throwing it out there. What are you afraid of? Because basically what you're saying is, well, maybe the company can go poop-a-loop, right? Because that's what it is. If you're pegging it to a dollar, you certainly can't be worried about the value of your own dollar, your own pound, your own euro, your own yen, my point, right? You're worried about the...
It could undermine control of national currencies. Do you think it's worth trying to buy miners now before it's all mined up? I think the issue with miners that has been since 2021 is if you buy a miner it's very hard to make that money. There's big players that are already mining all of Bitcoin with mining farms, and they're paying like 25 million. And it's also how long does it last? You need like a big capital to make tons of money. So you also have to set it up. You have to take care of it. So it's very hard to make it big in the crypto mining industry. Most of the companies that do it right now are doing it with a big capital, like $30 million just to start with. Maybe like if you had $2 million extra, you can you need to hire an employee to look at everything. And some people even buy crypto, what it was called, basically crypto electric farms to mine crypto for cheaper. Especially if you're like in a first world country, the electricity can get super expensive as well.
Company, and that kind of brings us to the whole link to thing.
Yeah, so some people have like warehouses of crypto mining companies, and that scares a lot of people.
And that's all about the comfort of the company. So when you get these stable coins, right, like USDC, you're really betting on what? How much trust you have in the company that they can fulfill your...
The thing with stable coins is, very simply put, they're just another way of the dollars to send these transactions. So that's why they will never beat crypto at all. That's why Ripple is issuing its own stable coin. It's using for payment transfers. So sometimes, Ripple can basically send these stable coins as a payment for its services that people can redeem, that companies can redeem. It's going to be an easier way to transfer, and they could also be used with banks. That's why Ripple USD is going to have its own banking, because what they do is they're going to have this fast transaction on the blockchain 24/7. I feel like that stable coins are overhyped, for my opinion.
Requests, right? That when you go to redeem your cash, you actually get it and not, get like 98 cents a dollar.
So yeah, that's the issue with stable coins, is sometimes like when people try to redeem it, they just lost everything because the stable coins were so unregulated, you couldn't do anything.
You depeg, because we've heard about that before. So the Bank of England says no. Andrew Bailey, governor of the Bank of England and the chair of the Financial Stability Board, has issued a strong warning to commercial banks regarding the issuance of stablecoins. He stated that allowing banks to create their digital tokens could threaten financial stability and weaken government control.
This just tells you how big crypto is, or they don't have a right understanding. Because nobody is gonna be using stable coins instead of the pound. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, so of course it's about government control. We're learning that government and banks work very closely hand in hand. And that a lot of money, Elizabeth Warren, helps out people in the Senate and the House, right? And that these people run defense for these financial institutions, Gary Gensler. And what we're learning now is that it's not just the United States, it is other governments out there. And a lot of them are still holding on to the...
US changed the perception, that's what really changed the crypto market cycles, is US went basically a 180 from we hate crypto to we want to work with crypto and we want to put taxes on it, tons and tons of taxes.
Traditional finance crap. I just thought I would share this because not everyone out there is rah, 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 we're breaking all-time highs. Some people are still poopy sticks in the mud. It's juicy.
Yeah, so there's always going to be countries that won't accept crypto or are not bullish on crypto. The issue is they're leaving money at the table when they do that. So US is smart about this. They know what they're doing right. But when you're going to countries I'm pretty sure India is taxing 30%. You lose potential money out, or you're taxing them very heavy. There's literally countries that want to ban crypto, and as long as people pay taxes on it, it's free revenue, right? And you cannot stop fully people to buy it. Like a lot of African countries, I saw they tried to ban people for using it. There was so much drama around that, and it makes no sense to me. I think the Philippines has banned cryptocurrencies, and there's still people kind of using it. So you're just your potential profit from the country is getting so much destroyed because people will find a way or they will move countries. Literally no crypto company is in Philippines, and it's a big hub for corporations. They just set up elsewhere. They set up in Dubai, and where Dubai is raking a lot of that money.
The price is holding. We're battling $3. And the best part about this is look at how long this move has taken.
crypto should run a leave a crypto alone campaign. The issue is crypto and XRP will never be left alone, and this is what will save crypto, in my opinion. That's what happened in 2021. When crypto was left alone, look what happened with FTX and Terra Luna Classic, right? So I fear like that the government, if the government doesn't get involved, we will get another FTX and we will get another Terra Luna Classic when the bear markets start to hit.
Okay. We really started seeing some action happen right here going into the 10th of July. Okay. So we're here. We're 4 days deep in this move. You zoom out to some of these other big moves here.
Again, nobody expected when XRP was at 38 cents. I literally saw it at 38 cents and didn't get a 10x. So who's going to expect when XRP goes to $10? So if it did a 10x in just like a few years, what's stopping it from going even higher?
That XRP is made. This one right here did not last 4 days. That's 2 days. That's it. So, I mean, the fact that this...
Yeah, so this is just the start, but you can obviously see it went like to $3.2, $4. So any amount, it's still pretty good, right? Just the amount that we have these type of rallies where it's pushing for $3 and it's not staying the same price like a lot of other cryptocurrencies, definitely screams a bullish momentum.
Move is longer, stronger is a good sign. The volume is there a good sign, and crypto week is just starting. Where a lot of these things, like with this move right here.
Yeah, so this is just the start of crypto community. So there is actually big thing in crypto right now that we are seeing also, like SHIB and Solana. Solana right now has been absolutely destroyed in a sense. Like, look at Solana. Solana has not been growing compared to XRP.
Not to prove it's the real Ethereum killer. Well, the latest, highest daily.
Like Ethereum daily transaction chart, you can actually see here that Ethereum and Solana have been having a lifelong battle. They've been always fighting between each other.
Transaction numbers are only a little under 2 million. That's like peak high ever. And don't even get me started on the gas fees. And I know the gas fees are better under Pextra. I get it. I understand. But Lark, what about Solana?
The thing is, Ethereum is always the first one. That's why Solana is not the biggest. And a lot of people just prefer Ethereum being decentralized.
In something called real economic value. That's not just total value locked on chain because, you know, mercenary capital move or transaction spam or anything else. This is actual user demand, actual revenue, and actual...
If you check Solana, it's actually 10% last 7 days, while Ethereum is 18%. The thing is, Solana had a lot of bull rally in 2024, 2023, and as long as meme coins come back, Solana is going to come as well.
Value throwing through the chain. In January 2025 alone, Solana hit $551 million in rev. That's 3.31 times more than Ethereum had in the same month. And on January 19th, it had a single day high of $56.8 million. Blowing.
Again, yeah, that's where Solana could win, basically coming so much money in. I'm definitely excited to see more collaborations with Solana, especially because they're releasing their own phone, which can be which can have its own crypto wallet. I don't know if anyone is doing that right now. How many crypto phones do we have? Maybe one on Solana. And that's where Solana wins, right? The community definitely wins on that part. But Ethereum wins on some other parts, like working basically with the governments to talk about how they want to burn Ethereum. They want to make Ethereum deflationary and push it to $10,000. Community has been calling Ethereum for $10,000 for such a long time now. And compared to Bitcoin, they just didn't hit that, that level.
And that's not all. Of course, major TradFi titans are also jumping in and paying attention. BlackRock's Biddle fund is now on Solana. Franklin Templeton's FobXX and VanEx's VBill.
So there's plenty of small collaborations. I never heard of that. Franklin Templeton extends FobX fund to Solana, marking its latest blockchain expansion. The thing that's really destroyed Solana is FTX. So FTX basically crashed it for a very high amount. And here is where Solana might win, because if it did survive the FTX crash and someone bought Solana tokens for $8, it can basically survive anything at this point.
Real world at scale. Okay, I'll start with stablecoins. Over the last 18 months, Solana's stablecoin supply has grown by more than 7 effing fold, jumping from around $1.5 billion to over $11.7 billion currently.
So I think what Solana would do great is it has these type of collaborations. So it's trying to push out mobile, which crypto mobile is a very undertapped market. Literally no other cryptocurrency that's big enough is trying to do it. When we see that, that is big, right? We don't see that with any other blockchain. So the issue right now with Solana and why it's not growing is because people only use it to either mint NFTs for very cheap, or they use it to mint meme coins for very cheap. And it's very early stages. But once you can use it in a transaction, so forecast 300 trillion asset tokenization, RWA, so that's real world asset, basically tokenizing properties. That's where these meme coins and coins could really go into an effect.
Ethereum killer label. Well, the network's never been faster. The users have never been more real and more prolific. The money, it's never been bigger. Even the whales, of course, are waking up to this new reality, publicly traded.
Increases Solana holdings with 23 million. Now, 23 million is not a lot in this crypto world, but it definitely tells you that there is some potential, at least right now, because it's very stable, that it will grow again. Solana holding with a strategic acquisition, so acquired 12,000 Solana tokens, enhancing its holdings, shareholder value amid Solana's economic growth. It is growing, but I don't think it will ever destroy Ethereum. That is why, because Ethereum is always going to be its own thing. If they grow, they both grow together. It was always said as a Ethereum killer, but I just don't see it happening, because as long as Bitcoin grows, both Solana and Ethereum will grow it in its own way, and you will get more users to buy meme coins on both chains. So I don't think right now, because so many big corporations are buying Ethereum and the Ethereum ETF coming up, that's until Solana gets its own ETF, that we are going to be seeing Solana basically outperforming Ethereum, but it might live with it like a habitual relationship, I guess, like just being in the same ecosystem of layer 2 blockchains.
With Bitcoin hitting all...
Pump coin running up a good buy. Never heard of... Oh yeah, pump coin. Yeah, we made a video on that one. The issue with pump coin is nobody knows for sure. Right now, it's kind of like pre-sale levels, but a whale sold a very big bag on pump coin. So who knows at this point? Pump could go anywhere. But just that like a whale sold a very big supply of it. You can see whale sold like 20 million. Doesn't make me very happy. Like maybe the hype died down a bit.
All-time highs. People are...
I think you can get it for cheaper. I think they want to become the next Facebook, but I think the prices will go down for Pumpcoin and they might go up in the future.
Starting to feel a little bit saturated.
What about SHIB Doge and token 6,900? I never even made a video on token 6,900.
And as a matter of fact, we can see that altcoin season is now at a level of 32, indicating we are getting that much closer to an explosive altcoin rally.
Again, we've been waiting for an altcoin rally for 5 years now. Top meme coins to explode in 2025. Now, this is what I feel is wrong. Like ChatGPT will not be able to predict what exactly explodes, or if everybody did that, they would be basically the richest. These coins might never reach its all-time high. So the issue with meme coins is they always keep evolving and they're very competitive. If you have something like XRP, it's literally being bought. What else could you buy than XRP that's working with the government and that has all this development? Literally nothing. There's no other, cryptocurrency that works with the US government. And that's what makes me think like that meme coins might be coming more and more in. You can literally make a meme coin in 1 second. So what is Dogecoin doing in terms of development that makes you consider, hey, I'm going to buy Doge, I'm not going to buy XRP, right? And then you have Bonk. Bonk released something big, which basically makes me say that, they released the Bonk fun. But once they release like 5-6 of these platforms, this might pump. So there's emerging meme coins, which I don't know anything about. The issue with the old meme coins is they might be gone forever. Just because the community has moved on, it entirely depends on the whales that will come in.
NFTs and potential for significant gains in 2025 and early 2026. Pepe, prominent frog-themed meme coin with a deflationary mechanism and strong community support. Analysts are forecasting potential price breakout in the near term. Bonk, a leading Solana-based meme coin, is benefiting from a thriving community and integration with NFTs and DeFi. Some forecasts predict a rise of 60 to 80% before the end of the first quarter of 2026.
So again, yeah, are we going to be seeing, you know, Doge $1 billion, or I mean $1 per Doge? You need to have a lot of pump to actually see that. And right now, there's so much choice for people to buy other coins that you would need to have like 3 or 4 whales get together and say, I'm going to buy meme coins today for very cheap. Like, I'm going to buy Shiba Inu because it's at its lowest and I want to see it go up. But literally, there's no reason. Like, you could buy Shiba for like 1 million for $300. It's very cheap for them.
Not enough. And Dog with Hat, I do own a decent amount of Dog with Hat as well. But let's talk about token 60.
Like, the only reason I see like Dog with Hat growing again is if Solana goes up in price. And it's just not happening, right?
Hours, the price in buying. You're going to just a year. You can see that it was trading.
So SPX. Now, this is a coin that I actually saw pump. And people usually buy meme coins. Like, people buy XRP because they want long-term money. But when we see meme coins, they buy it because they want easy money. It's number 59 on trading.
6,900 is sitting at a $1.5 billion. Yeah, right here, $1.5 billion.
$1.5 billion is not that much, in my opinion. Well, when you look at the meme coin market caps, it could very quickly crash. Used to be 0.08 cents. So just look at that. A lot of whales have already cashed out their position. And most people probably bought around 50 cents and are now not selling it at 1.5 cents. So in my opinion, when you see a drop like this, it shows you, hey, a whale has sold and cashed out 20 million.
Back essentially just a year. You can see that it was trading at 2 cents. Now, beautifully, so $1.
So yeah, this was the most emerging one right now. But the issue is, how can you stay on the market with these meme coins? Like, it's you can already see there's a token 6,900, and basically people buy it from the 90s. So I just see so many patterns in the last 4 years with cryptos that made cryptos not stay. Like, meme coins, I'm not bullish on them anymore, and I could be way, way, way wrong about this. But we even saw it with Pepe. Rallied, and then dropped again. So let me just pull up the Pepe chart over here. And that's why I stopped looking at meme coins and getting so hyped about them. Because I spent like 6 months every single day, 6 times a day talking about SHIB. And it can literally burn you out to the point of, you know, not wanting to make videos anymore. Because that's exactly what happened with Pepe. The thing is, Pepe can actually rally back, but it had a huge price and then dropped again. And now there's no guarantee that the prices will rise. If you look at XRP, for example, it's following a way different pattern, a way more exciting pattern. And that's what wants me to talk about it, is because XRP only crashed during the what was this, the lawsuit thing, and then went back up during the rally. Of course, this was normal, so the lawsuit brought it back. And then once we saw this lawsuit being over, it literally reached 2017 heights. So you need to have a very long-term perspective when buying these. Again, it's just like a question of these pumping again.
And a 3 zeros and a 1776. And now we're sitting here at $1.50. Millionaires were made in this coin, and millionaires could be made in token 60.
All right, so let's check what else is happening. So James Wynn, the guy who lost $100 million. he's saying altcoin season has begun. He literally deleted his account after he lost $100 million. Now he's back, ready for some gains. So he shorted Bitcoin, and that didn't work out, and he lost everything. It's got like 15 followers. Going short. Be right back. Market genius. So I guess he's like gonna be gambling again. This is literally a guy that is connected to FTX or Alameda Trading. Alameda Trading is connected to FTX. So James Wynn is back. Let's make some posts today. I literally made a video on this guy, but it's not out yet. Pump is pumping. Pump coin. XRP. We gotta talk about XRP. Pump market cap is at 5.7 billion. Is it a good buy? I wouldn't say so. The issue with these meme coins is they're here today. It's trying to become the next Facebook, but once it's there, it might take a long time. So might still take... Oh, wait a second. Wall Street legend Steve Grasso just said live on CNBC that Bitcoin is easily going to 350K.
I am a firm believer that it's... I am a firm believer that it's going much higher from here. Think about corporate adoption. Corporate adoption is probably only about 2%. Central banks, only about 3%.
So he's saying that only 2% of the institutions have bought Bitcoin so far. If this is true, this is very bullish.
Those are both going higher, much higher. Retail investors going much higher.
Retail investors are literally installing their apps back.
So look at it through, I'll leave off with this. Look at it through the market cap of Bitcoin. That's around 2 trillion, let's say.
Guys, thank you for smashing that like button as well. I'm live every single day if that's something that interests you.
Look at the market cap of gold. That's around 20 trillion. Maybe it doesn't have to be gold, but if it closes the gap to 50%, you're looking at $500,000 per Bitcoin.
I mean, who even holds gold anymore? I think it's pretty much people holding gold that expect if the whole world fails. So preppers hold a very big amount of gold because they believe that crypto will be non-existent and it will not be on blockchain. So what can you trade with? Gold? Why would people accept gold when you're in a post-apocalyptic world? Why wouldn't they just take your gold and all your food with weapons? I don't understand the whole point of gold. I think it was behind the gold rush thing in the West, basically, when it was a gold rush and people loved gold for mining utilities and for trains and all of that, and materials. But now you can use other stuff than gold to build this, and it just makes sense that crypto is going to become the best because of the transactions. Maybe a bit of subjective on this because I'm a crypto channel, but if anybody knows anything on that, most people I heard talking about gold is usually the older generation, and the younger generation is talking about Bitcoin. It's talking about Solana or some pump fund tokens.
And I do think that in iShot, you're looking at 250, 350,000 pretty easily for crypto. There's a couple of things,
I think it might take a few years. He's saying pretty easy, but I don't think it's going to be pretty easy. Yeah, once the government comes in, 150K is possible, though.
Hurdles, but I think those days of it losing 80% of its value and then rallying up are long gone. There's too many people that are looking for the asset.
Yeah, so basically, he just confirmed that they are going to be buying it big. Like, yeah, the institutions are going to come into crypto. That is true. So Jim Cramer says JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon will go all in on crypto after calling it a fraud. Wow, and what? Jim Cramer says JP Morgan CEO will go all in on crypto after calling it a fraud and Ponzi scheme. The thing is, like, these institutions, crypto hasn't been growing last year pretty well, can change fast because when you hear, it's like called the herd sheep mentality. Now, I'm not calling them that for sure. But the thing is, once one institution adopts it, like BlackRock was the first one to adopt it. Other institutions will just follow up ahead and be the next thing that, takes it for themselves.
It was a rocket ship. then it kind of died out. People were actually using Ethereum to buy things. But I think people, there's a whole other world out there right now. And like Jamie Dimon today about private equity, he criticized, I mean, I wish, I don't know, you know how these, there are these sites, the site that talks about what events are going to occur. I'd like to go, I'd like to be the bookie on when he does a lot of crypto. He'll go all in crypto. Maybe he does it on the conference call. But I think
that would be a true 180.
Yeah, well, I think that's why you got to check
So there's, you know, Jim Cramer has always been bearish on crypto, and that is because it pays off. There's, you know, old corporations, old tech that always is going to say, why would I buy crypto? I remember my talk with one guy in Europe, and he was basically saying, oh, crypto, it's the biggest scam ever. And he just left the conversation, right? So his mind was already decided, and I couldn't even convince him anything. He just left. He literally left, and he called crypto a scam. And I was debating him if it's a scam or not. So that person who is very wealthy, he's like the CEO of something. He just left and didn't say anything. So his mind is already convinced. You can't convince them otherwise. And then once you have Jim Cramer saying crypto is going to go down, you start to believe him, and you start to form a group of people who are going to say, oh, XRP is going to go down. There's for sure a Telegram group of maybe like 100, 200 holders of Bitcoin or XRP going down to zero, right? They've been saying the last 13 years XRP is going to go to zero. And I just think, you know, that you can kind of build a community around that and monetize it. So we're excited to announce Metaplan as the official Bitcoin Asia. They're going to have Eric Trump. That's actually pretty awesome. Like the Trump family is now invested in crypto. Just in XRP and micro XRP futures on CME crossed 235 million daily volume on July 11, surpassing 1.6 billion traded since launch. So let me just copy an image of that. CME group trading volume surpasses 216 million. Now, that is big news, if you ask me. For sure, more XRP. XRP is 260 million. Definitely think there's going to be more of that coming from. But basically, whales are betting big on Ripple right now, if it's going to go up or down. Either ways, they're betting big. So yeah, doesn't make it huge news, but it's definitely a micro news. Micro XRP futures on CME crossed basically certain amount, and for me, this tells me that even the whales have spotted XRP right now. They can't avoid it. Institutional hands stacking quietly. Like some of these are saying that they're longing it. Basically, they're calling XRP to hit $3.5. They laughed in 2020. They're trading billions in 2025. XRP looks like it's primed to test the $3 level. Volume and open interest are surging thanks to CME micro XRP futures and ETF speculation fueling both retail and institutional inflows or flows. Basically, more people, what this bot is trying to say is more people like are coming back to XRP just like they do with Bitcoin, and they're want to buy it big. So here we are. Is there anything else on the news today? Well, let's take a look at another crypto video. I think there's plenty of content that there isn't on Twitter. Right now, nothing is happening on Twitter. So Jim Cramer just sold all his ETH. Maybe he's gonna be proven wrong. Like the thing is, you can like literally do all the mistakes with your assets. But if you're like almost a billionaire, or if you're a multi-millionaire and have your own show, even if you do every single decision once, it doesn't matter. Some institution is going to buy it, and even if they make 2 million more, like that's not a lot of money for them. They have like 50 million already. So let's check what exactly is happening with Bitcoin is about to get out of control. Here is why.
Welcome to the greatest show.
We haven't made Bitcoin like, he's been appearing on mainstream news. He's been a big content creator, by the way, but now he's like literally joining news and being a host.
Welcome to the greatest show on Wall Street. I think that Wall Street's full undivided attention now is on Bitcoin. What we're watching now is we broke through that $110,000 range. That was the previous all-time high. I don't know if it goes to 140.
I think 140 is definitely possible. Look, listen, it's very simple in terms of like economics. If the retail investors haven't even returned yet, and we're seeing already 120,000, what's stopping it from going to 170,000 or 150,000 when even the US government hasn't bought it yet? So this is just the pre-hype. This is like the party before you go to the main party, right? So that's amazing news for crypto.
But it sure is going to make a big move here because you are in a true price discovery phase.
Bitcoin is surging higher than it's ever been before. 10x research.
So yeah, all these, the issue is I would take all these price predictions with kind of a grain of salt, because all of these price predictions that we saw in 2021, everyone was calling 100K Bitcoin, but they were off by 4 years. So if you think that Bitcoin is going to hit 250K now, it might not hit for another 4 years. So let that scale in.
This market, some analysts say we could be on track for 130,000 plus by August or September. Is that realistic?
It is realistic just simply from a statistical point of view, because we just had a short-term model breakout literally like 10 days ago. And historically, Bitcoin actually rallied by 20%. So that would bring us actually to 133,000. But, an interesting aspect that you mentioned earlier is really that the retail investors are not really participating for that.
So yeah, exactly the point I'm trying to make. If the retail investors, which were in 2021, are not here yet buying meme coins because only the big institutions can profit yet right now from Bitcoin, we are not that far off. Like if you're watching this right now, you are probably not like the average retail investor. The average retail investor doesn't know what crypto is. It thinks it's another stock, and they put $20,000 into it. But now we're seeing US government talking about it on live, and crypto is pumping right now for very few specific, because very few specific institutions bought it. But if we get into that big phase to where crypto could be accepted by banks, that's where I could see the big bull run happening. Like the main juice of the lemon, the main squeeze.
Bitcoin's price a lot higher. Analyst Anthony Pompliano says that Bitcoin and crypto is the greatest show on Wall Street right now, and you would be a fool not to remain bullish for the following reasons. Listen to the price target he gives at the end.
I guess as Joe said, if you're going to get to 250,000 or 500,000, you got to cross 123 at some point. But what do you think is happening? What's driving it right this moment?
First of all, welcome to the greatest show on Wall Street. I think that Wall Street's full undivided attention now is on Bitcoin. And really, there's three things that drove this move. The first is that there's been record inflows into the ETFs. So last Thursday.
Yeah, so it's literally institutions stocking up. It's like kind of buying tons of candy so they can sell it to kids. Like this is literally the thing. They're buying tons of it right now for cheaper, and then probably going to be selling it at 1,500,000, 200,000. They're going to have like each its own strategy, right? And nobody knows when it's going to peak. So they believe that once the US government sets in, it's going to pump high.
Build up, and as they got blown out.
Like so many already profited 20%. Do you ever see a 20% profit in just 3 months? These institutions made tons of money.
As Bitcoin ran, you get into this price discovery phase. If you go back to November, we went from 70,000 to 90,000 in about 2 to 3 weeks. And 70,000 was a new all-time high. What we're watching now is we broke through that $110,000 range. That was the previous all-time high. I don't know if it goes to 140, but it sure is going to make a big move here because you are in a true price discovery phase.
Guys, look what's happening.
Agents should join on risk management considerations for crypto asset keeping. Yeah. So right now, it seems like that the institutional investors are just coming back at very early stages. So only who is coming right now is people who were here in 2021 and now want to just, you know, kind of come back at this level, who have been buying Bitcoin and they now made profit, which they didn't make in 2021 because they bought it for $75,000.
This is the bull market phase for this type of stuff.
So you like it? We're going up from here? I presume from what you just said we are.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, Steve, this week we've got this thing called Crypto Week going on in the House of Representatives. They're likely to vote on the passage of this Genius Act stablecoin bill, which is, you know, driving.
After we saw the big, beautiful bill, that is exactly when Bitcoin pumped so much. That is when Bitcoin pumped like 20,000, 30,000.
Up all the infrastructures.
Or I think they added $10,000 in a very small amount.
Providers.
In like one day.
So that's Robinhood, that's Coinbase, and these groups like, you know, Tether and Circle who provide these stablecoins. And even more interesting, Steve, is Walmart and Amazon may get into the stablecoin business on the back end of this, and that would be an attack on Visa and MasterCard fees because they're basically free if you get a stablecoin off of one of these systems. So we do need to pay attention to this as more than just, you know, something faddish and speculative within the Coinbase, you know, crypto.
Yeah, so the utility now is incoming, and that is what's keeping crypto sky high. Right now, a lot of investors and a lot of governments were just keeping a side eye on it. Basically, what's going on in crypto is crypto coming up, and right where we are seeing that crypto might be like the new big teaser for making speculative trading. Like it could be the next small stock market. The US government cannot just rest anymore from it. So this is just live, guys. Let me show you what happened with Doge. Dogecoin started as a meme. Now it's a movement. If you know, you know. So are they potentially revealing? Is this a new teaser potentially? So Dogecoin could be having a brand new announcement as well. So right now we don't know a lot, but they might be building tons of utility for Dogecoin. Doge might be, I guess that's not the real, that's the Dogecoin wallet. But Dogecoin has actually been building a lot of utility. They launched their own wallet, if I understand correctly, because this has 100,000 followers. And they're about to reveal it. So this has been long due. Dogecoin used to be traded a lot in 2017, 2016. It used to be the #1 thing, and people wanted to add a lot of utility, but it wasn't there. Now they're trying to, basically, because crypto is more competitive, they're trying to make it big. How do we know they're just actually dead or just pretending? Dogecoin, to the moon, to the moon, to the moon, right? So there is tons of issues with meme coins right now compared to Bitcoin and XRP. Why would anyone buy meme coins if the community of retail investors are not there? And they can just buy stuff that is actually developed or developing. Like there's some small updates, but that's what meme coins need. They need tons of updates, and they need probably tons of developers to actually be in the scene, because right now nobody wants to hold meme coins. They just sell all of the meme coins. That's why Bonk released a new update that made all these crypto holders trade their meme coins and profit. So yeah, I think the old meme coins, they're stuff of the past. I still love making ship videos,
you know, I've
and
noticed
those
that,
videos because
a lot of the bears have been
right
slowly
now,
but sure. Bitcoin is good.
Oh man, just so many videos launched. But there's so many meme coins right now, and there's only a few that will survive. I don't know if it's going to be Doge, but it's definitely working towards it. So what's happening with SHIB?
Early fading away. There are still some people pushing back, but even
the issue with SHIB is all the whales have left. So how can you have the big whales if they all sold?
The channel down below it, that subscribe button, that bell, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So it's still pretty early in the morning. I'm going to actually be at a golf outing for most of the day, so I won't be able to update as the day progresses unless I do something on the course. Maybe I will do that. But what I did want to say is that it's just now after 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Toncoin, Polkadot, Monero. All right. Obviously, there are some other.
You can see this rising, but if you go like way down here, SHIB only got 17% and like Toncoin. This tells me that every time SHIB goes for a new rally, and I don't like to be super bearish on it, they actually lose the money. So they get, everything gets sold out for them. So look at that. Even something like Stellar made 82% gains. Hedera, 50%. When you see something like SHIB, when it used to be making 200% in 1 week at its first launch, it really has high expectation to go back, right?
3. Should momentum continue? DeepSeek AI.
Like these AI predictions, I don't think they're true at all. They're just AI that could say how high it could reach, and they never do. What SHIB needs is the community back. And to get the community back, it's going to be very competitive. It's going to be much harder than 2021. So I definitely hope it happens. But again, 2021, you didn't have Bonk, you didn't have Pepe, you didn't have Dog with Hat, you just had Dogecoin or SHIB. These are the two you could buy, and Dogecoin was already sky high. That's why people bought SHIB. This is the reason people bought SHIB, because it was promised to kill Doge. And then a lot of projects came true, but these projects needed time and development, and it fizzled out. Nothing happened.
Dogecoin, but it's basically BTC, Ethereum, Shiba Inu. BTC, Ethereum, Shiba Inu. Do we think that trend is going to change?
I definitely don't think, like, Luxide has been making a lot of SHIB content, but I definitely don't think that Doge can sustain this hype level that it had in 2021. There's just, as I'm saying, so much competition for crypto right now. Let's do another one on XRP, actually. We haven't done that. For some reason, my PC is lagging a lot.
Back, everyone. We are on fire today. I gotta tell you, this lock-in game. You know, the market.
So look at that. Position details. Oh. Well, I'm not too sure why is he showing like his account. He's basically a multi-millionaire, or this is like a demo account. I believe he's like a multi-millionaire. But is he holding XRP on here? Can you even hold XRP on Client Schwab?
Red is now green, so that's good. LHX, which is another.
So yeah, most of the position is Bitcoin. He's holding 10,000 Bitcoin, 344, 16K Ethereum. I don't know if 16,000 is that he entered cost base is 300,000. So that's his portfolio review. XRP holders, what you need to know.
Another one of my budget plays is slowly continuing to march north. And
I never heard of these stocks before. Maybe NVIDIA. So he got NVIDIA at very cheap. He made $14,000 from NVIDIA, 54% gain. Literally has 2 million in account. So let's take a look about XRP.
For now, they're on board with it, and it seems good. I would say likely that they will pass, and that would be a very
crypto regulation. That's what we need. Like stocks, they don't make enough gains as XRP would right now. If it would get accepted by the government, think of like crypto as the pre-stock market to the big gains.
No. 1,370% up over those 5 years.
Yeah, so 2021, the issue was there was still a lawsuit going on. There was still, like, this rally didn't mean anything because there was still tons of expenses that XRP had to sell to pay for the lawsuit. So what they had to do is to pay for the lawyer fees, they had to sell the coin, right? And slowly they're becoming profitable. So that's what makes people bullish. With the lawsuit over, basically lawsuit was a big money sink that people had to realize, yeah, maybe it was super expensive. But with that over, XRP at 50 cents, at 8 cents, XRP was literally 5 cents, 8 cents. It doesn't have this extra expense. It's kind of like having a very expensive car and you need to drive it every week. So you can't focus on work, right? You can't focus on making, I don't know, YouTube videos, or you can't focus on the stock market because you have this car to take care of. And when this lawsuit is over now, they can focus on other things.
I have live streams, I have everything that I'm trying to help people. The focus on this channel moving forward is education. I want that to be a prime.
Yeah, so once you understand why XRP moves, why people came back, is because they literally survived the worst areas of their life. Or whenever some projects would fail, if you've been around 2018, the issue in 2018 is so many projects failed because either corporations fizzled out, there was ICOs, so something called ICOs, that destroyed cryptos. Basically, they took all their money out, or they had a lawsuit. And when they won this lawsuit and they survived the 2022 bear market, it showed to XRP holders that they can basically survive everything. So here you can see that, XRP being the big thing right now. Everybody's talking about it. Even StockMo, who does, he's very good on stocks, and he made tons of money on buying stocks. When you see XRP fans uniting, it's definitely, I'm thinking that a lot of retail investors might enter XRP. So really bullish on that as well. Let's do one more video. Bonds dumping.
So that's...
Yeah. My voice is a bit sore from talking like 2.5 hours.
Crypto.
Yeah. So I have here 6, 10. Now I see why everything is lagging, because I had the second companies entering for crypto.
It has reached a record $76 billion in assets under management in under 350 days. By comparison, it took the largest gold ETF over 15 years to reach the same milestone. Probably nothing. And not to be outdone by old Stinky Finky, Michael Saylor and Strategy have done it again. Now the first public company to hold over 600,000 Bitcoin.
So yeah, they're saying they will never sell, and that they make money selling Bitcoin to others. So they might sell it at 1 million, but until 1 million, basically Bitcoin can go up from that place. So Microsoft's missed opportunity. Bitcoin flipped Amazon, is now the 5th most valuable asset on earth and climbing fast. So yeah, that definitely tells me that institutions have to watch out for it. Nvidia becoming 4 trillion. If Bitcoin surpasses Nvidia, this could be the next gold rush for all the people from Nvidia coming to Bitcoin. Silver being at 2 trillion shocks me, because I guess people use still silver for materials. It's literally bigger than Amazon. It flipped Amazon, which used to be one of the biggest companies in the world, I think, during COVID. So right now, you cannot... Everybody's talking about it. Satoshi Nakamoto becomes world's 11th richest person. And if even Tesla has like 200, 300 million of Bitcoin.
While knocking on Bill Gates and Microsoft's door, but the legend, Satoshi Nakamoto is en route to be the first anonymous richest person in the world when Bitcoin hits 3.
So yeah, I have a video coming up on who Satoshi Nakamoto is up, so definitely check that out. Definitely excited to bring you that.
370K. And at the current new all-time highs, Satoshi is already ranked number 11.
Even if the government wants to buy Bitcoin. Again, did the government buy NVIDIA? No. Or, well, it's working with NVIDIA, but it's not the same thing.
Set without counterparty risk. What if you could buy a $100 billion company growing faster than Microsoft for 1 times revenue? What if you could keep doing it every single year? It's time for
They are making, like, MicroStrategy, which is selling Bitcoin, they're making so much money. Aren't they making like Bitcoin minimum maxi, double maxi, triple maxi? So each year they're making more and more money for no extra. They have a very, like, they don't have to hire any employees, but yet they are making more and more. So the assets class was 37, expectations is 59. Microsoft is currently levered towards earning expectations to an extremely unhealthy degree. And if Microsoft held Bitcoin, that would be huge for them.
Strip away risk from your shareholders, and you can prosper on the Bitcoin standard.
That's why, like Tesla, who bought, they have 240 million of unrealized gains. They could have made much, much more money.
That happened. Bitcoiner slavery is not hyperbole.
At some point, the basic economics really matter, and they matter because not that it's bad that rich people are getting richer, it's bad that everyone else is getting poorer. And it's especially bad that young people can't afford homes. Let me just...
That's very sad. That's why people don't do real estate investment anymore, because it's getting less and less profitable and more work. And crypto just shows you that anyone can become rich at this point by just buying a random crypto. Now, it might not be the smartest way to become rich, but it is a way that a lot of young people are buying cryptocurrencies right now and trading cryptocurrencies to become the next millionaire. Because when you have $10,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 to rent, so that's $20,000 just for rent, then you have another, $2,000 for expenses. Let's say you need $40,000 per year to survive and your wage is $60,000 working for this mega corporation that doesn't pay you more than $60,000 a year. You only have $20,000 for basic expenses like food, water. Basically, you're surviving on $20,000 a year, right? And even if you have a roommate, it's becoming so expensive. So the big thing crypto kids are doing right now is they're trying to make money with Solana, with meme coins, because with Bitcoin, because right now trading or day trading is so popular because you can make $60,000 if you're a very risk taker, if you're a very big risk taker. And that's very sad that we're seeing in this society that people have to live with their parents until 35, 30, because the rent is very expensive.
Assign a moral value to it. And if you're getting rich by loaning money to people at incredibly high interest rates, that's something you're going to have to talk to God about. That is not good. That is not virtuous. That's disgusting. And the fact that nobody feels free to say that, nobody feels like...
So that's why communities are being formed. Even if you hold $10, there's actually a very high chance, if you buy XRP, you're going to be joining the community. And these people are on Discord. These people are on all sorts of platforms. And that's what makes people very happy. Like when you buy Bitcoin, you're basically joining a community of itself. And the world being more isolated, that's when you buy a stock, you join a community, right? Just look at Wall Street bets. When you buy a real estate, you have a ton of work for some extra revenue that you have to rent out to someone. And this is what really connects crypto, unlike anything else. This is why I do YouTube, is because when you buy Bitcoin and it's soaring, this community level, this potential is really not just from Bitcoin's use case, but also community. If you buy gold, you don't really enter any sort of community. And this is why I think Bitcoin will surpass gold. It's only a matter of time. Why crypto in total will surpass it. Because the world after COVID got more and more isolated. They will get more, people will start to look more on social trends and what actually gets them to be with other people, to hang out with other people. If you buy crypto, you can go to a crypto event that's free. And that's basically it. That's the whole point of this. So yeah, guys, I will keep you more updated with more news. If you guys want more content like this, I've been streaming for 2 hours, 40 minutes. I'm getting very tired, unfortunately. I wanted to stream for more, but I had to fix my dishwasher. But 2 hours, 40 minutes is pretty much fine. Wanted to hit for 4 hours, but my throat kind of hurts. Follow me and check my other videos. I really appreciate it. We're going to be streaming live every day, and tomorrow we're going to try to go for 4 hours live stream as well. Much love to all of you. So yeah, guys, thank you so much again for watching. I'll just leave a Twitter link if you want to keep be kept up to date with more crypto news. We're at 317 followers. So anybody that wants to follow me, go there. And thank you for smashing that like button.